Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 12 picks against the spread, super locks, and of course, a Cust Corner, and a second free money parlay of the week. If you missed the Thanksgiving-only show, shame on you. Go back on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review while you're there, download that show, listen to it first, then come back to this one. Or if you're watching on YouTube, smash the like, sub to the channel, because we're going to be live Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Cust, Geoff, Pizzola, and Cam, if we can get the equipment to work properly. That is a promise to you. If not, it might just be Cust and I in studio bickering at one another if the cords don't continue to work the way they're working right now. I have faith in Paul that he'll get this all figured out. However, the Thanksgiving Day DraftKings contest is almost full. It's in the description. Go hit it now, and you can still get in on the Week 12 weekend DFS slate on DraftKings. There's still around 1,000 spots remaining in that one, so let's get it filled up. Get your spots reserved now. Then you don't have to think about it on the weekend. Don't even fill in your lineups. Just enter your teams, reserve your teams. Don't enter a lineup. That way I can win, which would be nice to dig myself out of the hole so far this year on DraftKings. Geoff Fienberg, it looks like you're feeling better, playing hurt on the Thanksgiving show, looking good. You feeling up to this?
Definitely am, and no pressure on Paul or anything. The people certainly going to need him to come through on those wires for Thursday.
Yeah, we don't live in a place that has highly accessible wires. Can't just go down to the wire store and be like, here's the exact wire you need. Probably takes like 3 weeks shipping.
There will be a show.
Yeah, there'll be a show either way.
It will just look better if I can get it to work properly.
I think people will be happy.
There will be a show.
I think people will be happy to see the five of us all in one place at a time with you, too, chiming in on everything. But we have to introduce the third member of the show. The coin is here, which means the inventor of the Pilgrim Parlays. It is Tim Andercust.
Tim Andercust.
That is not my name, but I am looking forward to this Flintstones meets the Jetsons crossover episode that we're about to have. I think it could be a lot of fun.
It's a very topical reference. Most have just been saying it's like a Raw and Nitro crossover.
I can see that. I think my reference is more apt, but I see what you're saying.
Is it apt for all of the 80-year-olds who watch this show?
I don't know what the age demo is for this show. I bet you it skews older than you'd think.
I mean, I know exactly what it is. But when you say it skews older than I think, I know what the fucking numbers are. Do you know what the numbers are? Because I do.
I know what the numbers are.
Do you? Hey, hit me. Hit me.
No, I can't.
Hit me.
I can't. Those are it's confidential.
It's not. No, give me an age range. Give me an age range and average salary of people who watch this show.
I don't know the salary. The age range got to be about 33.
Yeah, it primarily falls between 25 and 45.
Yeah, so there you go. Boom.
They
all know the Simpsons. They all know the Flintstones. They all know the Jetsons.
They do. They all know about this reference to a show that came out 20 years before they were born.
Everyone knows about that crossover.
I mean, when you say everyone knows, most times no one knows.
Wait,
okay.
There was a Jetsons Flintstones crossover?
Yes, of course there was.
Apparently everyone doesn't know then, do they, Tim?
Oh, it was a great episode.
Wow. No idea. Who landed, did the Flintstones visit the Jetsons or vice
As I
versa?
remember it, yes, that's what happened.
How did they do that?
I can't remember all the ins and outs.
It sounds like a great fucking episode. You were 7 at the time. It came out in the 60s.
Yeah, okay, but I was 7 when I saw it. It couldn't be that old anyway.
It can't be that old?
That one. No, I would have said the 70s.
Oh, well, let's take a look at here. Flynn? I like that Geoff called them the Flintstones.
Well, I don't know. What's next? Tim's going to be like a Merv Griffin, Leave It to Beaver crossover?
Well, one was a talk show, and the other was a television 3-camera sitcom.
That was 1987. Interesting.
There you go. There you go. Not that old at all.
It's pretty old, Tim. I can assure you it's 35 years old.
Yes, but topical.
Can we get a
this show is going to be a lot of fun.
Impression?
Yeah, can we hear your...
Yabba dabba doo!
Can we hear Fred Flintstone in the future?
Hey, Vaughn, look at those flying cars over there. Who's that? My name's Rastro. Hi, Rastro. My name's Fred Flintstone.
What was that
I don't know about that, Fred.
Were those 3 impressions in one? Because one of them sounded
There
like you were
were-
having a stroke.
There was an Astro impression, a Fred impression, and then a Barney Rubble impression.
Yeah, this is
I also
very-
do an excellent Bam Bam. Bam, bam, bam.
That just sounds like you. It sounds like you doing a very poor version of the guy from Step Brothers. Because he says, pow! Rob Riggle. That's the guy.
I thought he was doing a bad Emerald Legaze impression there.
That's also a very obscure
Bam.
reference.
What? Step Brothers?
Emerald Lagasse.
No.
Is it?
It's an obscure reference.
He's
I
like
used to
a
watch his
celebrity
television
chef.
show. I watched his sitcom, Emerald. I think it was on ABC for like a season in the early 2000s.
Was it as good as that? That it wasn't a crossover. Because that sitcom, the Wilbon and Kornheiser sitcom. That had
Listen up.
That had Malcolm Jamal Warner on it, I think.
I watched that show too.
Sounds terrible. Not gonna lie to you.
If it's network TV in the mid 2000s, I was watching.
All right, so here's what we got from. If you missed the Thanksgiving show, go tune into that. I took Detroit, the Giants, and Minnesota. Jeff took Detroit, Dallas, and Minnesota. Tim took Buffalo, the Giants, and New England. And the coin chimed in with Detroit, the Giants, and New England. Last week, Tim and Jeff tied for the week win because none of us were over 500. That's always fun. 6-7-1 for the two of you. I was 5-8-1, and so was the coin. That puts Jeff and I into a tie for the season. One game above 500 at 81-80. Tim is 3 back, 78 and 83. The coin has the exact same record. Tim got his super lock correct. Jeff and I had the same one with Pittsburgh. If you told me Pittsburgh scored 30 points and I had a +5, would have felt pretty good about it. Didn't cover. I'm down to 6-5. Jeff is 7-4. Tim is leading the way at 8-3. And you won your free money last week. 2-9 for the year. 17 and 112. And you got 2 of them coming up this week. The Pilgrim Parlay was Buffalo -2. The Giants +16. New England +10 on a 7-point teaser. In case you was wondering. Let's get into the game. Sunday, Houston at Tua. Coming off a bye week, the Dolphins are now 13-point favorites at DraftKingsSportsbook.com. The total is 46. Tim, we'll start with you. You love Tua now. You think he's the MVP. You really wish the Jets had Tua instead of Zoomer Zach because, he'd be throwing the ball or having a concussion. Those are the 2 outcomes for Tua and winning games, not just eating Tide Pods and making everyone upset with them. But 13 points is a big number here, even against the Texans.
It's a big number. But I have watched people who I respect the last couple of weeks take the Houston Texans and watch that not go well, even when the numbers make sense. And I'm not making that mistake. I don't care. I'll take the Dolphins -13. They should crush the Texans. They aren't going to come out of a bye and score 3 points on offense and move the ball 2 inches. They're going to play well. This is a nice soft landing for Miami. I expect them to cry. I don't know I can't really cap the game much more than that. I expect them to crush the Texans. I don't see it being very competitive.
What are you're clearly up to something as it pertains to the Dolphins. Like, you are slowly putting in your spices and ingredients into your witching cauldron in some capacity. In some capacity, my heart goes out to Dolphin fans. I hope they can crack your code before you crack them in some regard. All that being said, my analysis of the game is honestly in many ways similar to Tim's. I have a lot of confidence in Miami and their coaching staff, and out of a bye, I think Tim said the word soft landing. I mean, what a great soft landing to have that season that they've had so far, so well earned, get a bye week and then get this matchup out of it. Oh, McDaniel and company probably going to run circles around these guys. You fear a backdoor. I mean, Houston's probably the least likely team or one of the situations you fear the least, unless they're down, 20 and are just going to be running with Dameon Pierce in the final 3 minutes. I don't know that they're going to do that. Give me Miami. In some places, I don't think they're getting enough credit. I feel like they even in their last win, there was some, it might have even been Pat, who I feel was a little dismissive of their win and like blaming some Nick Chubb early game fumble is the reason?
I didn't
the
say that was the
Dolphins won
reason
by,
that they
20.
won. I'm saying that the Browns in that game were absolutely dominating until Chubb fumbled. Then they didn't score again.
Yeah, okay, fair, but like they won, they just completely obliterated Cleveland.
Sure, the point in that though wasn't that Miami's defense all of a sudden was going to become awesome. Like they couldn't stop Cleveland. It was a lot like they couldn't stop the Bears in the first half. They couldn't stop the Lions in the first half. But that lasted all the way to the half. I thought that Miami would outscore them, but I didn't think they'd start stopping Cleveland, and that's what ended up happening. It all flipped right on that play.
Fair enough. I'm gonna take Miami here. Although to Tim's point, people were taking Houston, plus 4 or 5 points versus the Giants. Happily, a lot of the Sharps were on them last week. I'm curious if the Sharps see this as like a really nice spot. I know Miami's great, but to be getting 13 points probably feels like a lot to them, but it doesn't feel like enough for me to pick on Miami. I'll take the Dolphins.
Well, I'm curious, Tim, if Pizzola is going to go back to his old tricks that, trends don't mean anything. But in the past 27 road games for the Houston Texans, they're just not as good as when they play at home. So I'm actually going to take the Texans blindly in this spot. It's this game reeks of how I felt about Baltimore and Carolina last week, where it's like I didn't end up betting Baltimore because I don't want to lay the minus 12 and a half or whatever it was, but I really don't want to take Carolina on the other side either.
Yeah, but Baltimore's is not nearly as explosive offensively as Miami is, so that's a different situation where the Dolphins should
don't sit here and tell me that when we all took Baltimore last week minus 12 and a half.
I would, if that game were played again this week, I would take Baltimore again. But they are more susceptible to having a lower scoring game than Miami is in a spot like this.
And
in my
you're
opinion.
being disingenuous.
I'm not.
Whether you want to admit it or not admit it, you pretty much spent the majority of October and the early part of November consistently picking against Miami as like your super lock.
And other than one time, I kept losing on that. So when I realized I'm making a mistake, I changed course. What do you do?
No, I don't. That in some ways, for most people, I would acknowledge that's a level of maturity and not digging deeper. But again, with you,
we know you're trying to curse the Dolphins. We know what you're up to.
I feel like you're up. You're like there's a witching cauldron, and you're just throwing your spices in it or your takes, and right now you're trying to change the recipe because your bye attitude really backfired.
We'll see what happens when the Dolphins have to go outdoors in Buffalo and outdoors in Green Bay and outdoors in Kansas City. We'll see.
Let's stop trying to talk Tim off of this ledge. I enjoy this ledge that he has been going to for my Buffalo Bills, who need to get back in charge of the AFC East. So I like where your head's at, Tim.
Do you still love the Bills minus 10 now that the line has moved? You got a better price locked in early, Tim.
I still like them, yes. I still like everything I have on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That Pilgrim parlay and this, after Thanksgiving, you're tired. This tryptophan teaser that I've got are definitely going to hit.
Why isn't Miami on the teaser?
That's too many points. I'm not teasing to a number where it's worthwhile teasing. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I'm not. It's not super lock worthy. It's like, yeah, I think they should win the game, but if the game finishes up 20-6. Then oh boy, I don't get the cover. Well, actually, I do. If it's 20 to 7, if it's 20-7, it's a push, right? It's just not worth. It's not worth my while.
Well, if you put them on a teaser, then you can tease that number down.
It's not worth my while.
You were just talking about how there's no way Houston can cover the 13.
I didn't say no way.
Might as well make it 6.
I just don't. There's no value in teasing through the numbers. There's not enough key numbers for me to be interested in it.
I didn't realize you were Mr. Wong over here.
I like to be able. If you notice, when I hit my teasers, it's when I take plus 2.5 through key numbers.
You haven't hit a teaser all year. You've hit 2 money line parlays.
Well, it's a teaser this week anyway.
Good news. Baltimore at Jacksonville. The Jags are at home. They are 4-point dog to the California Raisins. 43.5 is the number. Geoff, what do you make of Baltimore right now? Because they still have this pretty easy schedule to end the season. They haven't looked right at all. Demarcus Robinson is their receiver 1, at the moment. That's not super inspiring stuff, but Lamar was dealing with an illness for most of last week, ended up going. Andrews was a game time decision. He ends up playing. Neither one of them looked like they were at full capacity. You think a week later, they start looking a little bit better, and the defense absolutely looks real again, I think. I mean, they didn't allow Baker Mayfield to do anything against them, but, that could be anyone apparently out there. Any team in football is not allowing Baker to do anything against them. Not a great barometer. It's a lot like the Patriots defense, where it's like, yeah, they've had some good games. They kind of really made their defensive bones this year, beating up on the Jets 2 of the past 3 games. It's like, all right, well, what does that tell us? Probably nothing. Let's see them doing it against a real offense. Do you think that the Jags are going to be able to move the ball here? Because the Ravens seem like the worst type of defense to play this version of Trevor Lawrence, who moves the ball, gonna throw a ton, and then just have turnovers everywhere.
The Jags feel like the most respected bad team by the betting market in football. Would you say I'm right or wrong about that?
I would say you're correct. When we tried to guess the lines on Sunday, Tim, I think I got this one because it was just like, and you even said it was like the books love the Jags every week.
Yeah, and because by the metrics, they should have a much better record by all the fancy, whatever models.
I mean, listen, I'm looking at DVOA for the past month right now. The Jags are the 22nd best team in football, and they have
very good.
And they have a bottom 3 defense.
Jeez. Yeah, I'll take Baltimore. This is sort of blindly the team that wins covers. There's no Fienberg special thoughts on this one. I don't love this game, but I'm willing to just side with the fact I think Baltimore wins, and then I'll lean to the cover. I don't really have a thought on it, though.
Coin is going with Jacksonville, Tim.
I'm going to take Baltimore. The spread is off, in my opinion. It should be like 6. So I'm getting a little bit of value with Baltimore. Yeah, it's the same thing. Jacksonville gets too much. I expect the Ravens to play marvelous defense in the red zone because Jacksonville's stupid. Again, I have trouble getting up for a lot of games this week. This is a bad slate of football games. Thanksgiving sort of steals all the good ones. This is a bad game. I expect Baltimore to win it comfortably. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. I mean, you kind of think about it. They've won 4 in a row. They beat the Browns by 3, and then they beat the Bucks by 4, and then they beat the Saints by 12 or 14, sorry, and then the Panthers by 10. Some of those teams are okay. Teams are not like the bottom of the league, and Jacksonville probably fits more in with them. And it's been a struggle at times when you watch Baltimore. I don't think they've gotten down in any of those games. So yeah, I'm going to ride with you here and go with Baltimore and pray that there's no Fienberg where they end up winning by a field goal, and that's that. Cincinnati and Tennessee. The Titans are 1.5 dogs at home, and 42.5 is the over-under. Should we just keep riding the Titans? They're 8-2 against the spread. I get that the Bengals are 7-3, and that's after not covering the first 2 weeks of the season. So they're 7-1 in their past 8 ATS after losing to Dallas and Pittsburgh to kick off the season. But just anytime the Titans are underdogs in these close games, they're probably going to win. So why not just take the Titans?
Tough spot. I mean, Chase very well may play this week.
He's not playing.
There's talk that he may play this week.
Okay.
We'll see if he does.
Yeah, you know what? You put him into your fantasy lineup right now, but you don't get a chance.
I did already I did already doing some research because it said that he may play this week.
Okay.
We'll see. I actually think that makes a big difference, whether he goes or not. It's just an extra weapon Tennessee has to defend. Tennessee's not going to outscore you. It's a question of can they do exactly what they did to them in January? Can they bring them down into a rock fight where this comes down to making a field goal, getting a first down here or there? Yeah, I'll take the Titans. I don't like it. If Chase plays, I would wish I would have done Cincinnati, but if he doesn't, I guess I'll take the Titans. I'll take the home dog.
This is close to super lock territory for me, Geoff.
On who?
Tennessee.
It doesn't show up in the models, but I love this sort of shit. Ryan Tannehill was sent to therapy because of what he did in the playoffs versus the Bengals last year. It was the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yep, sure was.
Yeah. He went to, as he conceded, a dark place after that performance. Extra rest, postseason home loss revenge game. I don't feel super lock. Like Pat's probably going to make his case right now, but I don't make it a party on the Titans. I'm not going against them here.
Yeah, it's a round of Titans. Even the coin's getting it. Listen, I don't need to make much of a case of it. Tim kind of spelled it out. These are just Tennessee keeps winning games. They have one of the league's best defenses somehow. I don't quite know how that ended up turning out once they started losing pieces, but Vrabel's got these guys playing up, and they play the perfect sort of, especially with a high-octane offense that you imagine from the Bengals, that the Titans just have the kryptonite for that right now, and Derrick Henry just seems to be getting better every single week. Like, great D, running the ball, and Tannehill's making just enough plays. They're getting guys back offensively that aren't like game breakers, but they're better than the absolute scrubs they were running out there like 3 weeks ago. So I really like the Titans plus 1.5 in this spot. Atlanta and what?
I want to just it feels like anytime the Bengals play a competent QB, they're in big trouble. But they've been really lucky that they haven't really played a competent QB in a long time. Pickett, the Panthers, the Browns, the Falcons, the Saints. So they've gone like over a month without having to play a real QB. And I don't know if Tannehill's won either, but they had that huge secondary injury, and they haven't played anyone who can exploit that. So I don't know if Tannehill's the guy, but go Teton.
Atlanta and Washington. Washington's a 4-point favorite at home against Marcus Mariota and the Atlanta Falcons. 5 wins, 7-4 against the spread. And what have the Commanders won now? 5 in a row? Tim?
They were 1-4. They were 1-4. They dropped that game against Minnesota.
Oh, yes, that's right. They could have won that game.
When we had Kenny on.
Yes. They almost came back and won, right? Or were they winning and then blew it late? No, I can't.
I think they were winning and they threw it away late. That's the way it goes. Okay. Here's a game I like. Here's a game I'm excited about. Washington is going to throttle the Falcons.
Ooh.
Atlanta has no defense. We know that. What Washington can do and what is they can score. As long as the quarterback limits ridiculous mistakes, I don't think these teams are equal at all. I think Washington is clearly a cut above. I think this spread is too short. I think you're getting some value on Washington here. How's Atlanta going to win? Atlanta last week, it took a special teams touchdown in order to take Chicago down. Atlanta is good, but Atlanta at the same time has been good, but they've been winning games in very sort of unsustainable ways. I think Washington's just more talented. They're sort of hitting their stride. There's a total path for them to the NFC playoffs, and they're at home. And I don't know. I actually saw people in that crowd last week in Washington on our TVs, or the highlights, or people like celebrating, which you never see. So anyway, long story short, I think the Commanders are the play here.
No, the Washington game was in Houston last week, right?
Well, that's even sadder than that. I saw Washington fans in the stands celebrating them. That actually went out to Houston to watch. I really like the Commanders here.
I like Atlanta ATS at the 4, Geoff. That Washington's just not winning by big numbers. They beat the Texans. The Texans are the worst team in the league. Prior to that, they win by 1. They win by 3. They win by 1. They win by 2. They are destined to play close games. I could see Atlanta even winning this last second because they love also playing super tight games, yet somehow coming out on the other side of it. Could they get blown out like Tim said? Yeah, absolutely, because their defense absolutely reeks. And you see this great run defense from the Commanders come through, but the way that Atlanta decides to generate their rushing attack is just so unique compared to any other team that we've seen them run all over good run defenses so far this season. I know it was against a banged-up 49ers team, but they did it to them. They did it against the Saints. It's just a different type of team to prepare for. It feels like it might give Washington a few fits. I feel like this falls firmly in the Fienberg zone of Atlanta covers but may lose the game.
Yeah, this is a real tough one, and I imagine this is probably one of the heaviest public sides of the week because there's now this love affair with Washington in the football market for this. Anytime a team starts to overachieve, we galvanize them in some ways.
How often do you galvanize people, Geoff?
No, I think the public rallies behind. I think this is. I don't think I'm wrong to say this feels like it's probably going to be one of the heavier public-sided games of the week on Washington. Heineke, it feels like that team will go through a wall for him in a way that, they'd walk around that wall for, say, Zach Wilson in many respects.
They'd build the wall. They'd build the wall for Zach Wilson.
The wall just got 5 feet higher.
To keep him out.
By all reports, it seems like this could finally be the return of Chase Young as well. This is a no bet, but like office pool purposes, I'm circling Washington. I can't not.
Oh, I'm on Atlanta Island. That's exactly where Atlanta likes to be against the spread when no one is on them. That's where they really come through for me. So
I don't know why you assume Atlanta is going to have success running the ball against Washington.
Because they have success running the ball against everyone. It's not like they line up in I formation and try to run the ball down their throats. They utilize 3 separate running backs who do 3 separate things and have a rushing quarterback. Like, they're going to be able to run the ball against Washington.
It does feel strange laying more than a field goal on Washington, but I think the talent gap in the two teams right now is quite large that I guess I'm doing it.
Yeah, the talent gap on defense, granted, absolutely. Washington has a
Terrell could be back this week as well.
He was
AJ Terrell.
He was back last corner. He was back last week and he was trash.
Oh, okay. I'm totally missed that.
Yeah. I don't think people are paying a ton of attention to the Atlanta Bears game unless they had Justin Fields in fantasy. Speaking of Justin Fields, he's up next. He is a 4.5-point dog against Tim's Jumbo Jets. The Tide Pod eating Zoomer Zach, presumably still the starter at the moment. We don't know if Fields is going to play, though. 39.5 is the total. 4.5 is what the Jets are favored by right now. Oh, Paul, yes.
Just want to say that total dropped from 44 yesterday to 39.5, which would probably imply that Fields is obviously out and people have been pounding the under.
Well, I think this works one of two ways. Like, Fields has a separated shoulder, but it's in his left arm. So he might play, but if he plays and he has a separated shoulder, Tim, I would guess he's probably not going to run a ton. So he's not out for the season.
If your team is 3-9, he has a separated shoulder and you play him, you should be fired on the spot. Are you out of your minds? He's hurt. He's got a separated shoulder. You shouldn't play him. There's no defense for that. There's saying, oh, well, but there's no playing him.
Oh, you know what?
He's got a separated shoulder. He can't play.
I misspoke. He does not have a separated shoulder. He has a dislocated shoulder.
You know what? 6 of one, half dozen.
I don't know which is worse. You're a doctor. You're a doctor. You tell me.
I'm not that type of doctor. When you're 3-8 or 3-7 or whatever they are, and you have that kind of injury to your future QB, you don't play him. That would absolutely be madness to play Justin Fields.
There's only one organization stupid enough to play their future the week after suffering an injury, and that's the Chargers. Okay?
Touche.
Yeah,
if they play this guy, they would be crazy. I mean, even just give him a breather, let him come back in a couple of weeks, play the Packers, win that game for their fans, whatever. They can't play the guy. If he can't be himself, then who cares? And then it's the Jets. They're putting quarterbacks in the ground nonstop. Throwing shoulder, non-throwing shoulder. The defensive guy trying to feed his family, the beast on that Jets front four, doesn't give a shit. He's going to put you into the ground. He's not going to consider whether you're going to land on your left shoulder or your right shoulder. It'd be crazy to play Fields.
Exactly.
And even if they did want to bring him back at some point this year, and I mean, this is the best case scenario for my under 5.5 with the Chicago Bears at the moment, but although they do keep losing games, which is nice. Yet Jets, Packers the next 2 weeks, then they're on bye. So they could give Fields a month off if they really wanted to. I get they winning the game for the fans against the Packers, whatever. It's not like I said, it's not like they're winning games at the moment. They're just looking far more exciting. And why would this be any different than what the Bengals did 2 years ago when Burrow had the injury? They tanked back down to the top 5 of the draft, went out and got an impact playmaker to help their quarterback. Then all of a sudden they come back. The quarterback is healthy, and then they just have this stud receiver all of a sudden.
Perfect. Perfect. What a beautiful way to transition into next year. You get like a star offensive lineman or a star receiver for your young, great quarterback at the top part of the draft. You said it perfectly, Pat. If they're thinking about this any other way, that's just straight malpractice. I'm willing to lay almost any number on the Jets.
No, see, you can't. You can't do that. The 4.5 is a good number. And I like the 4.5. But let's say just, the moment that this show goes off the air, Fields is out. And yes, it would be a revenge game, Tim, for Trevor Siemian, I believe. He played for the Jets, right?
Yeah, but it also depends who's the Jets quarterback.
Let's not worry about that for the moment.
But for Geoff to say it's the Jets at any number, I think he would want to put a pin in that until he knows.
Okay,
even with Zach, I'd lay 4.5 with Zach.
Yeah, okay. Listen,
no.
I'll lay 4.5 with Zach as well. That's fine because the defense might score 2 touchdowns or something like that. But let's say they call Fields out officially. They announce Siemian as the starter, and this goes to like -8.5. You want to be laying -8.5 with the Jets?
No, even though we have won games this year by covering that type of spread.
Sure, but would you want to do that?
No, I think Chicago's very live to win this game.
No, see, every time your pattern, I'm 100% on the Jets just because of your behavior this week.
I mean, if you tell me it's Mike White starting, I'll be far more optimistic. I think then we've got a real chance to win the game. But I'm anxious. I'm nervous. This team is at a breaking point. I'm afraid that there are such live wires frayed in the locker room that things could just be falling apart. I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to come down to clearly, we went from a Sunday night Zach as our guy to a Monday night all quarterback are on the what?
There's back-to-back breaking news came out, not about this game. Sam Darnold starting for Carolina, and
that makes sense.
And the Rams cut Darrell Henderson.
Also makes sense.
Does it? Why are the Rams cutting Darrell Henderson? They don't pay him anything.
Useless.
Well,
Useless.
Their other running backs aren't useless.
No, but you're telling me they're going to cut a useless running back. I'm going to tell you I'm not surprised by it. So anyway, I mean, so things are trending towards a change of quarterback, but I don't know. Maybe this is just a scare tactic. As I said to Geoff in the thread, like Zach's acting these days like one of the bad kids from Willy Wonka. Like he needs to straighten up and fly right. And maybe, if he comes out in the next press conference, if he comes out and gives a press conference or in a media interview where he apologizes and backtracks, then I actually think they're going to start him because he's going to show. I'm very concerned here. I don't know what I mean. I'm very concerned. If Zach doesn't start, we got a great chance. If he does, I think it's going to be like a 10-6 game or something, and we're going to lose. So the Bears are on my tryptophan parlay because even if we win, we're not covering that type of. We're not blowing them out by 11.
I can't believe you're self-sabotaging your chance to win 2 Pilgrim parlays.
Pat sort of made this point for this. Follows Pat's point that if you want the Jets to cover 8.5, well, I certainly don't want them to cover 11, which is where this teaser would put it because it's going to be a 6.5 point teaser and move the Bears to +11.
Can I make a prediction?
Sure.
No.
Zach starts the game, but the leash will be very short.
I don't think.
Why start him?
Why start him? Yeah.
This is like the idiocy the Patriots pulled.
You have to allow him. See, I go back and forth because to Tim's point, and me and Tim have had some private conversations, for Zach and even the coach to not grasp what Sunday meant to every hardcore, long-suffering Jets fan, it just, that's got to be such a kick in the nuts to those fans and what was on the line. For all the excitement of the Bills, for all the love affair of the Dolphins, had the Jets won this game that was 3-3 the whole day, they're in first place in that division. Comprehend that for a moment. That's freaking crazy. And that was on the table for Tim. And people like him. And to show no accountability to it is crazy. But I don't know. I feel like the Bears, you have to verse that team, I think, give the guy a chance to get off the mat. And now we've almost reached a breaking point where the criticism of him is kind of gotten comical and so far the other way. If way too far. The guy played poorly. He answered a press conference question you didn't like. Get over it. I don't know. Maybe it's time to move on.
And you said on yesterday's show, this is Jamarcus Russell territory. When you look at his numbers, this is Johnny Manziel territory.
He's been worse. They did the side-by-side with Manziel's numbers. He's been significantly worse than Manziel.
It's over. It's okay. Sometimes you just get it wrong.
Yeah,
this team is 6-4. You owe the franchise, a chance to compete for something this year. You can't sabotage it by playing a guy who has no respect in the locker room and can't play. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing else you can do.
I'm sorry, you're finished. That's all.
Yeah, you're done. That's it.
He
That
should-
can go do something else.
I think he should release a rap song this week. That'd be good.
Like the situation did.
Like the situation did back in the day. Exactly. I would be all for a Zach Wilson rap video coming out. Maybe he can hang out with Antonio Brown. Maybe Antonio Brown can go to the Jets. That's how they'll fix the locker room.
Maybe a change of location and some maturity will be fine for Zach. But I'm sorry, he's destroyed things in New York for this season.
So you're taking
That
Chicago?
loss. Yeah, I am. That
You
loss.
think he's on the team next year?
No.
If he's not the starter, he can't be on the team. No. Just like Rosen could not be on the Falcons a year after they drafted another quarterback. Like, you got to move on. And someone will give them like a 3rd-round pick for him. Of course they will.
Yeah.
Of course they will. So,
Is Zach from Utah?
yes, originally I believe he's from Utah. Went to Brigham Young.
Did he grow up a rich kid?
I don't know. This was
Apparently
the implication. This is the implication made last night. I couldn't tell you what his family's economic status was, but I don't think that matters.
I don't know. The Pacific time zone rich kid quarterbacks haven't really turned out all that well recently, have they?
I don't think that Utah is in the Pacific.
So
time
what are
zone.
we saying?
it
Like
not the
that's
Pacific?
Rosen,
I think it's in the mountains.
I was just thinking about Rosen. That was it.
Rosen, Leinart. But Andrew Luck, like Andrew Luck was weird in of itself, but he was a rich kid.
And he quit early,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he has that book club that he does now.
which, all power to him. That's fine. Anyway,
So is that like a detriment in grading quarterbacks? Is a life of privilege from the Pacific Coast?
I would say unless your parents are also athletes. So I feel like that kind of undoes a lot of stuff because they know what it takes to be a high level athlete.
fair.
That would be
I'm
my
not happy. Now, of course, the coin thinks we're going to lose this game and then we're going to win every game till the championship game. So the fortune has been foretold that way, but I don't see it.
So we
you
all
guys are essentially as bad as Cleveland is at evaluating quarterbacks.
Maybe worse. At least as bad. At least as bad. I don't know. I think Derek Carr would look nice in green and white.
Yeah, you're really on Derek Carr here. I'd rather have Jimmy G. Not that I think that's great by any stretch of the imagination, but in terms of like
I
efficiency,
don't know. The way Jimmy
that's-
G looked last night. I don't know. You're talking me into this.
I
Well,
really like the Tim
Well-
like Derek Carr campaigning that's starting in November.
okay, there's no one you can do better than Derek Carr. Really?
I don't need better than Derek Carr, though. I don't think.
See, I think you do.
No, I don't think so. I think like just a neutral quarterback, and this team has every chance to win a Super Bowl.
See, I feel like Derek Carr is firmly in the Tannehill zone of like quality of quarterback, where Jimmy G fluctuates up and down, but if you can hit him during one of his heater stretches, you're doing a lot better.
Maybe.
Yeah, but Jimmy G needs a consortium of talent
Yeah.
around him. to be the mediocre.
I have been told, Geoff, that this is a top 5 receiving core by someone on the show.
Bomb
Yeah,
squad.
I mean, I'll take Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson over most people's receiver and running back combos.
Even San Francisco's?
No, I wouldn't. I said most, not everybody.
So Jets for everyone besides Tim. I feel like in every time this season, which is we know what Tim is doing with his witch's blue over there in his cold one, Geoff, that the Jets win.
Yes, but this 4.5 has to imply it's not Fields based on what we're. I mean, they're calling the injury potentially season-ending, but
The over under reflects that it can't be Fields. I think.
Paul has
So,
something
but
to
I
say.
think if
It
the
was
over-under
actually- The total actually moved from 5 to 4.5.
It went the other way?
Yeah, but the total moved 4.5 points, which I found like fascinating.
Well, the books don't know what to do because they don't know who's playing quarterback for the Jets for sure.
I think it's irrelevant who plays quarterback for the Jets.
No, I don't know if it is. Like, who do you think is worth more in terms of a quarterback on the spread? Justin Fields with his arm like dangling with a swagger, or Trevor Siemian? I mean, that's a coin. The coin should be able to tell us that.
Yeah.
if it isn't Justin Fields, Pat, would the Jets be a top like 2 or 3 defense this week?
They're a top 2 or 3 defense anyway. It's not like Fields isn't afraid to give you the ball. Like, that's the big thing with all of this with Justin Fields and the Bears. We've all now just penciled in, well, Justin Fields made the leap. He's really good. Like, Okay, he's had a good
I'm
month.
very concerned
Are we-
about our open field tackling. Justin Fields presents issues with our open field tackling.
He can't be running in this game, though, can he?
If he's playing, he's going to run. He doesn't. It's just like Josh Allen. Do they know any other way to play? Like a person plays the way they play.
Okay, maybe, but there's a difference between Josh Allen having like an elbow injury, and which he almost re-aggravated again, and then Justin Fields playing with a dislocated shoulder. Like he can't drop his shoulder. He can't drop his. All he does is drop his shoulder into dudes and try to truck them.
Well, if the plan is to play Justin Fields and incorporate like 3 and 5 step dropbacks and reading the passing, then they're screwed.
Yeah, I think they're kind of screwed no matter what here. Who they play. Maybe I'm.
I don't feel good about it.
As my record of 81 and 80 indicates, I'm wrong about 49.5% of the time.
Yeah, Jets alternate spread. They're gonna annihilate them, and even if Zach plays, everyone's gonna do a 180 on their takes from last week.
I'm not going to.
It's actually a really good spot if Wilson does play, because as we've witnessed with Chicago, they have one of the league's worst defenses. This isn't.
Goes to my original point that in the end, I feel they have to let him play and have to see if he can bounce back from that, and if he can't, it's bye.
I think you could have a riot on your hands in the locker room, though, Geoff.
It would be a good situation to get Zach Wilson back in the flow, to have a good game, like 275 and 3 touchdowns, a pick or something like that. You'll be like, oh, okay, he's fine, as long as he's not playing the Patriots kind of thing. Or you start Mike White, although I bet you if they had to turn to someone, they'd play Flacco. Let's say they play Mike White. It's a good spot to put Mike White in to play a crappy defense and get people hyped about Mike White again.
I don't know if I would be able to control myself. If I on the show Sunday night, if Mike White throws for like 4 touchdowns and we win.
So what you'd say is that when you get up from the chair, it would be all sticky?
I didn't say that. I just said I don't know if I'd be able to control myself emotionally.
Well, you couldn't control yourself emotionally last week on the show.
Well, as Geoff said, these people don't appreciate what that loss meant. What that rehashed. The injury that caused. The scar tissue that tore at.
Denver at Carolina. Has this spread moved? I should probably check on that. Nope. It's still Broncos by 2.5 in Carolina. I am now on r/the Darnold, Tim. What do you think the top post is on Sam Darnold's fun Reddit page?
Something about how Steve Wiltz has finally come to his senses.
Well, he's not wilting anymore. Steve Wiltz no longer wilting because he's starting G. Cubis at quarterback. That is God Emperor quarterback of the United States. The time has come, Tim. Faker Mayfield has surrendered his seat to almighty G. Cubis. This wouldn't have happened without the fight of Olive against the lib rule media. We stood back and stood by. Now it's time. Do you believe, both of you guys, this is your guy in his season debut against Mr. Unlimited? Are you taking Carolina to win this game?
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I'm teasing Carolina up because Denver, like it or not, Denver doesn't score. Like Denver's not going. Like this is like a safety-proof teaser. This Denver is not going to outscore Carolina. I like this game is your Danny Willett game, is it not? Is this not the Super Bowl where you guys went on and said Danny Willett's going to win the Masters after you guys got
it is.
By the Broncos in that game?
I won someone at the Waste Management, whoever it was, probably Hideki or Ricky.
It was Brooks.
No, I don't know. Was it Brooks that year?
Okay,
so Brooks. Yeah. Brooks won his first win, and I lost all my money on the Super Bowl. Well, not all of it, but more than... For winning a golfer, I didn't win any money that day, so I must have lost a lot of money on the Super Bowl.
No, do you know what it was? That was the year that Ricky won, because when we made the Willett call was the week before when Duffner won Career Builder. That's when we put all the money. He beat Lingmerth in the playoff by chipping it off the rocks.
But this is, I mean, as Tim said it, like how many points does Denver need to score for you to lose your teaser? I mean, Carolina would have to score 6 points or something.
Even then.
I think Carolina wins this game 12-9. Give me Sam Darnold.
Love it. Yeah, I'm on the same spot. Carolina's short list of Super Lock teams this week.
Feel like we forget how bad Sam Darnold is.
Oh, I know as much as anybody, but Denver is just so broken.
If Carolina brings that compete level, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, Jeff's right. Mr. Limited is going to have trouble in this game.
Paul.
35 total in this game has got to be the lowest regular season. That's a preseason total.
That's a Hall of Fame game.
I make these boards every week for the last 6-7 years, and I've never seen a 35 total. I had to blink 3 or 4 times when I was like, is that right? And I had to look at another book. I'm like, that's a 35 total.
And even if you tempted to take that over, you can't even be tempted
I don't
to
want
take that over.
No.
No, I'm saying even if you teased it down to 28, you'd still be nervous as shit watching that.
You most certainly would.
Sure.
You'd need a kickoff touchdown or something to have a prayer.
Many players, Tim, want to decertify the mistake they made in certifying incorrect and even fraudulent numbers to go with Faker Mayfield. So, it's been overturned. It worked. The big lie is over, Tim. Darnold is back.
This is the right move, by the way.
Of course it is. It would be if PJ Walker was healthy, the move would be play PJ Walker.
No, they've done that. They've seen what they need to see out of him.
What were they seeing out of Sam Darnold? You think that he's going to be the
He
starter
hasn't played all
next
year. He hasn't played all year.
Yeah, we saw him play a lot. We've seen him play each of the past 5 years. He's terrible.
None of these people are going to be here next year. It's going to be all new staff and almost all new players. So whatever. He hasn't played. Let him play.
Sure, I'm happy to see him back. It makes me chuckle that Sam Darnold is back, and maybe he can. Sammy Scrambles can come back. We can bet on his.
I think he's the better quarterback in this game.
Yeah, I mean that I don't know of because I haven't seen him. We're giving Sam Darnold an awful lot of credit here. I know that Mr. Unlimited has not been good.
Who's the better Wilson at quarterback this year?
It's still Russ.
Well, it has to be Russ.
Yeah, Zach Wilson's the worst quarterback in football this year. He's worse than Mayfield.
I'm willing to hazard that no quarterback in NFL history ever played a worse game as a starter without a turnover. I challenge you to find a worse game.
Tim, I would, as I sit here right now, I honestly believe the Chargers have to probably lead the power rankings for most disappointing team. Maybe the Chargers, Broncos, and the Raiders. You could all argue in which way they go for just disappointing Packers. Season based on expectations.
Not the Rams, who are currently almost 15 points.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
the Rams out. People smelled the Rams out. I think the Packers are on that list.
But maybe the Packers too. But the Rams at least have last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so
that's it, right?
Their fans you can cry into your bucket of your Super Bowl tears from last year.
They still have the Rampede every game, so.
Yeah,
but as much
Dave
as
from Brentwood is devastated.
As much as this year has been great for the Jets, and there feels like there has been some sort of turnaround, to own the rights to have drafted the worst quarterback in football, second overall, I think that puts you guys in the top 5 of worst seasons in the league.
It stings.
Despite the record not being
that is such horse shit. If you told Tim didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl coming into the year. If you told him that, hey, they have some nice offensive pieces, one of them got hurt for the year, but he's coming back next year, and they probably have a top 5 defense, I think he would take that. And they're winning games.
Yeah, but in the end, it all comes down to quarterback, and they got to start that over again.
Sure, but at least the other, it's a good situation to go into now.
Yeah, hopefully they just decide they should just get a veteran, despite veteran quarterbacks not being as good as they used to. Than doing this draft thing again because they can't evaluate them.
I agree. Let's bring in.
But you're right. Median quarterback play, this team is gonna be great or very good next year. If they get median QB in there, I'll listen to Tim hype them up all spring and summer, and I'll enjoy it, and I won't hate on it.
I'm going to take Denver -2.5 because I can't go a week without losing money on Denver. So that's what I am going to. I just don't believe the Panthers are any good. Let's be real here. The Broncos could cover the spread by scoring 10 points. And their defense, if there's one thing I know about Sam Darnold, he may be very generous to this very good Broncos pass defense. So keep that in mind too. Tampa
and the Broncos fixed what ailed them, Melvin Gordon.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe you're right. Did you see what he tweeted out or put on Instagram? Did you look at that? That was real that I sent you.
Yeah, it was real. He's a weirdo. I've said it for years. He's an attention-seeking behavior dud.
What does that make me?
No. You need your no. He's an NFL running back. He doesn't need that sort of it's much more required for what you do than it is for NFL running back to do that, if that makes any sense. You're in the business of creating content, of pushing the content that you create on yourself, that you create yourself. That's not attention-seeking behavior. No. I've done a horrible job in explaining it, but not even close. Not even close.
Nice save, Geoff.
Thank you, Geoff. That makes me feel very good.
No.
Tim,
Someone help me.
Tim, our G Cubus is back. Thank you for announcing this, smart Schefter. Oh, I love this. This is like, I go to 2 Reddit pages and this is one of them. It's the best. r/the_Darnold. So fantastic. Tampa at Cleveland. Cleveland is a 3-point dog at home against the Bucs coming back from Germany after the bye week. 43 is the over-under. I actually thought this was really small for the spread. Didn't you, Tim?
Initially, yes, but they're on that Tampa's kind of bad. And Tampa's not back. They haven't been very impressive. This is a classic spot where I think Tampa's going to be very popular, and coming off bye, that they should be in good shape. But you know what? And Cleveland hasn't really produced very well the last couple of weeks. Short home dog. This is a perfect spot to take Cleveland. I love the Browns here.
You love the Browns? You teasing the Browns up?
No, I'm not. I like them a lot. I love them. They're good picks.
So you don't love them then? You love them to cover.
I have a lot of picks. Look, I like a lot of. I like a lot of sides this week. It's not one of them that I liked that much. But I love other sides even more.
Well, you love this one. So do you like it or do you love it?
I like it a lot.
Kind of on board with you, but I pointed this out last week in that Jets-Patriots game where the Patriots had the best special teams and the Jets had the worst special teams, and that's how the Patriots ended up winning the game. Those little edges. Cleveland, bottom 4 special teams. Tampa Bay, top 5 special teams, if anyone was wondering on that front. And just to look at it like they're passing off. Eventually, we saw it against the Seahawks a little bit, Geoff, is that Tampa just finally started scoring touchdowns and all this yardage that they were getting. You go look at the passing leaders in the league. There's Brady's name. He's still up there. They're still moving the ball. And it's what Tim and I pointed out for weeks. You watch these games, they always have the ball. They're always moving it. Then you look back and the other team has the ball, obviously. What the hell happened here? They're just kicking field goals. If they can finally have broke through that, sky's the limit against this terrible Browns defense.
I am leaning closer to Tim here. Not a super lock, and I wish it was 3.5, but I like the Browns at home, late November game, bringing Tampa in there. I feel like this game's going to be a slog. I'm going to take the 3 points with Cleveland.
I will admit the +3 feels like the right side of this game, but I'm going to take Tampa anyway. I think the Tampa, a lot of old fellas on this team. Yes, Paul, you had something to say?
Yeah, I didn't even hold my hand up that long there. If Geoff was Cam, do you think that he would get the 3.5 there, or what?
Well, we have to wait till Thursday morning. There's a difference, and we record the other show 35 hours after this one. Lines change. It happens.
No, I think that 3.5 is gone. There were some 3.5s out there, but yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, can I take whatever the Browns are, first 2 drives to score 10 points and then not score the rest of the game? Is that a bet?
They're great at that.
Is that a bet I can make? They love it. They do it every single week, and then they're just terrible the rest of the game. I wonder, because I was really shocked when they got up early on Buffalo that it wasn't just and they tried, hey, Nick Chubb, here you go, run all over the Bills, and he just wasn't able to do it. I thought that was really strange. And, by and large, the rush defense for the Bucs is better than the Bills' rush defense. It's the one thing they still do well on defense, that they can limit that running game. Do you really think Brissett's going to pass all over them?
I don't think he needs to. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's what Tampa does. They don't score high-scoring games anymore.
Tampa Bay,
like a 20-17 type of game.
Cleveland is great until they ask Brissett to do too much, and they seem to do that way too much this year. And Brissett, in my opinion, has played better than I think a lot of people expected him to, but then they'll get into the red zone, into like 1st and goal from the 4 and put the game in his hands. It's really weird what has gone on there.
It's also Brissett's last game, so it's sort of like a send-off to Jacoby Brissett. I think maybe the team, is getting ready to send him off with a victory.
If Jacoby Brissett was the Jets quarterback, would you feel better, Tim? Because you could have Jacoby Brissett.
I wouldn't feel worse. I'll tell you that right now. I wouldn't feel worse.
Interesting. Okay. That brings us to the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner!
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner.
Well, now, something that's been annoying me in the last week or so, I don't know when this trend began, is I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for, get your Black Friday deal starting now. And, first, Black Friday is not really a thing in Canada. We don't have Thanksgiving this time of year. Boxing Day was our big time of sales. But let's postpone that. Black Friday is on Friday. There's no reason for you to be getting these deals early than Black Friday. You want a deal, you want a great deal on Black Friday, then you have to, on Thanksgiving night, go outside and sit in that lineup and wait with everybody else to get that TV for $45. I'm sorry, there needs to be a sacrifice here. The whole purpose of Black Friday is that it's on this day that you get incredible deals. I know people have become coddled and feel like they need to have Black Friday deals and everything for 3 weeks in advance. And it's the same as stores here who start their Boxing Day sales 4 days before Christmas. It's like, it's so foolish. Black Friday is on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. That's when the deals are supposed to be. I have absolutely no time for this idea that you should be able to cash in on this deal 6 days early. No, be a grown-up, get yourself ready, go early, get ready to get in there when they open that door, when those sales are on, and then you've earned your extra big sale. Don't you tell me that you get to have Black Friday sales, from the comfort of your couch on a Tuesday afternoon. That's not Black Friday, and that's not the way these sales work. It's destroying a tradition, and it makes no sense. I can't stand it. It's just an example of the softness of culture sometimes, where people don't have to make any sacrifice, don't have to do anything extra, and are just handed deals ahead of time. Like, your exam is on Wednesday, but here's the answers to the questions on Monday. Here you go, sort of thing. I'm really, really, really annoyed by it. It's not right.
What do you think the point Black Friday is?
To get great sales.
You realize that they don't do it, to really benefit the consumer. Why do you think Black Friday exists?
It's called Black Friday because it's the day that the company goes into the black for the year.
Okay. Why do you think that they have Black Friday sales, Tim?
In order to get people to spend their money at Christmas time.
Or, it's not even, would you call the day after Thanksgiving Christmas time?
This is the start of the Christmas shopping season in the U.S., absolutely.
So if it was marketed that way, because you had to go to a brick and mortar in order to do it, what if you could take that same concept and make it a week long, and then get this, Geoff, they might spend their money all week long and buy even more stuff.
Then do it the week after Black Friday. Don't do it before. No. You got to earn it. The best deals should go to the early birds.
Yeah, so you should be buying it on Tuesday.
Jeff's on mute, I think.
Tell me you don't know how to use Amazon without telling me you don't know how to use Amazon is essentially railing on everybody.
Well, no, Amazon has its own day. It has Cyber Monday. What is it even doing encroaching on Black Friday?
Do you think this is some sort of copyrighted thing specific to a company?
Cyber Monday belongs to the brick and mortar.
Have you ever ordered anything?
No.
Have you ever ordered anything from the internet to your front door?
Personally, myself, I don't think I actually have. I've gotten people to do it for me. Here's the thing. Cyber Mondays for all your online discount sales. Black Fridays for the brick and mortar store for that person
Oh shit,
who
there's
leaves Thanksgiving
there's shit on Amazon 80% off right now.
who leaves Thanksgiving
Amazing.
dinner when they're finished and goes and sits in the cold and waits until 4 a.m. when they open that store so that they can go in there and get that flat screen TV for $106.
Why are you like promoting the lowest form of American consumerism and these freaks that line up at those doors and beat the shit out of each other and stampede each other and just are just like make a worldwide mockery of that society? Like, why do you think that's
Look, I don't endorse the violence or the stampeding, of course, but I do think there's something utterly charming about people waiting for that first second when the stores open on Black Friday to get their great deals. I mean, I think there's something there's something historical and interesting about that I enjoy. And you know what? It's earned. It's like you're earning that discount.
what's earned is being able to sit at home on Tuesday night with 4 clicks and buy it.
That's not earned.
Yeah,
That's the opposite of earned. That's slovenly.
So how about the people that don't have the ability to go to the Black Friday sales, like the people who are working or everything's closed that day, daycares are shut down, they have to stay home with their kids. They can't leave at 4 a.m, so they're not entitled to any deals.
Well, in the U.S., almost all those people are off work because it's a holiday. Secondly, that's what Cyber Monday is for.
Well, hold on. I just gave you the 2 examples. There are people working, so they're not buying stuff on Black Friday. Then you have the other people. If people are off, there's no daycares open. Were they bringing their kids with them at 4 a.m? Kids work.
You're
So
such
there
a
should be-
stupid mark also. Like,
No,
these
I'm not.
These people that wait in line because the flyer says they got some 58-inch Samsung on sale for $88, when in reality there's only 2 in the goddamn store and there's 300 people outside. Like, you're so stupid.
Yeah, how dare you go try to find a deal at Christmas time when things are expensive? How dare you try to find
It's easy to find a deal. You just log on to the fucking website, you moron.
Start your Black Friday sale online for a week on Black Friday then. Don't
Why?
start it early. No.
Look,
Don't start
right
it
here.
early.
Here's the one. Early Black Friday deals on Fire
I don't
TVs.
endorse the early stuff, just like I don't endorse early Boxing Day sales. I don't endorse early President's Day sales. It shouldn't be early. It should be starting at the time that it starts, and there should be an advantage to the people who go out there in the cold and are first in line. It's the same way that the person who's first in line to buy concert tickets, that whole Taylor Swift thing. Wouldn't it have been easier if there were no online sales? You had to go to the box office. When we were younger, you had to go to the box office when it was time to buy tickets, and there was no such thing as this person could scoop them all up. It was based on who got there first and stood in that line. And there was something democratic and just about that we have lost.
It was the people with
Yeah,
the
it's
most time on their
democratic and
hands.
just to see who's paying the most to homeless people to wait in the lines.
That may have happened in some instances. But you know what?
I slept out for wrestling tickets when I was 13, Geoff. I don't think
That's
I'd have the same
awesome.
sort of ability to go out and do that now.
That is a great story.
That's great. I was 13. As a 38-year-old, am I 38 or 37? Am I 37?
This
Paul,
is
how,
a microcosm.
Paul, how old are you?
You're 37.
I'm 37.
We're 37.
You get to a certain age, you can't even remember anymore. I
This
don't have
is
the
a
ability
micro-
to do that.
This is a microcosm of Tim being like really anti the people at McDonald's who mobile order until he realized he himself can mobile order and was offended that people would get there.
Yes, I am. I got there first.
But now you mobile order and you don't think about those people waiting in line.
I don't mobile order. I use the app to get deals, but I go through the drive-thru like everybody else. I'm not mobile ordering anything.
If you order something off of the Amazon, don't you have to get a friend to do it for you, though?
My brother usually does it
See,
for me.
so this is what it really comes down to,
Yeah,
is that you
yeah,
don't
it's
know
an
how to do any of this stuff, so you're mad that other people are already getting
And I shouldn't
deals.
have to learn. I should be able to go out at 5 a.m. and stand in line at Best Buy and get that deal first. And I should be the one who gets it because I'm the one who stood out there in the cold.
Adapt or die, buddy.
Yeah.
The
Adapt
early
or
bird
die.
should get the worm. I don't have your online sales for people who don't want to go out to the brick and mortar. Have it for that week after.
Which is basically everyone besides you.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I think I saw a study not long ago that only 50% of households purchase things online on a routine basis.
Oh, that must be a tough. People got a lot of time to waste.
So I'm opposed to all of that. I really think we'd be better off if, we.
Why would we be better off? Please explain that to me.
Well, what does it reflect of a culture? It's just we can't wait. We can't delay gratification at all. No. It's got to be early.
So you think that I am better served as a human getting up after a holiday at 4 a.m. to wait in the fucking cold outside of a door with a bunch of absolute goobers who are trying to fight over, as Geoff said, 2 TVs when they think that there's 300 inside, or I can just sit in my house, take 2 minutes, and buy it on Wednesday?
I think our culture is better served not, allowing a week and a half of early this and early that and early this.
The whole fucking thing exists to get you to buy it.
I appreciate that, but it's also like
it doesn't seem like you appreciate. That is why this
sales
exists.
Are a thing. Door crasher sales are a thing, and there's like, sometimes you get like a rush from being the person who got that door crash deal.
Wow.
Are these the same?
Yeah.
Are these the same assholes who are addicted to fucking scratch tickets like you?
Can you? What is your door crashing experience that gave you this natural high you're talking about?
I once stood out because my mother needed one of those food processing machines, and so I door crashed when the store opened and got it like 85% off, and it was such a thrill. And I go by all the time by that sort of see what the price is these days, just to make sure I didn't indeed get the deal I thought I did. And I did. I got that deal. So like you can get great deals if you have the stick-to-itiveness. You get up early, you go to the store, and you get that deal on the actual day, on the actual Black Friday.
What did you reward yourself with after you got such a great deal?
I can get you a $700 food processor right now for $189. It'll be here by Thursday.
So I got mine a little cheaper than that.
How much was it initially?
It was a little bit more than that.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
When was this?
I got it a little cheaper than that.
When was this?
This was Black Friday of 2018 or Black Friday 2017.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, one of those two
we outed
Fridays.
you as a liar either last week or the week before. Don't feel like this ever happened.
Yeah, no, I did. I took the day off work. I took a vacation day so I could go to Black Friday for this.
What was the make and model of this food processor?
It was a Cuisinart.
It was a Cuisinart.
Exactly.
How
Quality
much?
stuff.
How much is the most expensive Cuisinart, Pat? Look that up.
I don't know. I don't know what the most
We may catch him in a lie here.
Yeah, let's see.
No. It was a Cuisinart that's usually about $750.
I'm looking at them right now. Food processors are not cheap. I can tell you that much. I mean,
they're not.
You can buy cheap ones. You probably don't want to buy those ones. Let's see. The most expensive. Oh, did you get it at the Bay?
It doesn't matter where I got it. I'm not going to say the store.
Why'd you say the store?
I'm not going to say the store.
Because you haven't thought of what the lie is of where you bought it?
No, I'm just not going to say the store.
You say what the store is.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Why?
Because I'm not going to do it.
I don't understand why you won't.
Why would you say
I don't need people knowing all the places that I shop.
I'm trying to look on the fucking website to see how much the stuff is to see if you're lying or not. It really sounds like you're lying.
There could be other deals that I could get that if I'm giving away where I'm shopping, people will know where those deals are.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I'm fucking serious. What is the most expensive Cuisinart?
I ordered a sound bar off of Twitter. A Twitter
Yes, we
ad.
talked about this. We
And
talked
got
about
the Black Friday deal, and it's gonna show up before Black Friday. I don't have to wait in lines. I wouldn't have bought
And you
it.
needed it.
I wouldn't have bought it if I had to go to the store to get this deal. Like I'm not going and doing that.
The most expensive Cuisinart food processor at the Bay at the moment is $449. So Tim, I think they may have jacked up the price on you just to give you a sweet deal in store.
No, they wouldn't have done that to me.
My favorite thing that happened in this whole conversation is Tim not wanting to tell the stores that he shops at because he's worried someone in the PME universe is going to go buy the rice cooker he's been eyeing.
How do you feel about targeted ads, Tim?
I have no problem with targeted ads.
They're the best.
I don't think they're the best.
I have
but,
bought
I have no
so
problem
much
with them.
low quality clothing off Instagram just through targeted ads. Nothing like being up at 5 a.m. The kids get up too early. I'm half asleep on the couch. Nothing to do. Scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Like, that jacket looks pretty good. I'll buy that. And it shows up. It's like an incorrect size. Not quite the color I wanted. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But I guess targeted ads don't mean anything to you if you can't order them.
Well, I'm interested in what various items are out there for purchase, but I don't know how to buy them.
Why don't
Oh yeah,
you?
no, I'm
what-
looking at one. I'm looking at looking at one right now. I think that's exactly what it was. $700. That's what it costs.
Oh, really? Give me the website and where you can find.
So it's not a food processor. Okay, so I guess there's a difference between a food processor and like a kitchen mixer.
Okay, sure.
This was a kitchen mixer that I bought my mom. Like she wanted stuff that she could that had the hook that you could knead the dough with and stuff.
So Paul, doesn't it seem like his story keeps changing?
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing is that he won't tell us like what chain store he went to, as if he's concerned that somebody is going to go to the exact location where he lives.
No, it's because he doesn't want to give the name of the store so I can
Yeah,
look
but,
it
like-
up and tell him that he's not right and that he's lying.
What percentage of our listeners do you think lives in Nova Scotia?
I'm not saying where I buy my stuff. I don't like doing that.
Like
Why? What
less,
sort of chain?
less than
what-
0.01%? Like
Oh, no, yeah, actually, Tim knows for sure because he knows all the numbers, as we found out earlier.
and all of them are your friends?
I just don't understand
where
what
you shop?
chain store, like what chain store he's afraid to admit he's been to for his mom. Like that is so weird.
I think I found it. I'm going to put it in the group chat, but I'll put it from the company's website, so I don't give you the store.
No, give us from the store. We want to know where you bought it from.
I'm not saying where I bought it from. I'm
'Cause-
not going to tell you.
Because I'm looking at the Bay right now, and for kitchen mixers, the most expensive was $549.
Well, I didn't.
Really like raised my antenna as to
Yeah.
where this was because you're being so weird about it.
Yeah, is it like a?
I'm just-
did you buy it at like a sex shop or something like that? Like where
I just
you
don't
buying
want
like?
to tell people. People don't need to know where I'm shopping. Okay.
But you
always
you
tell
talk
people
about
that
where
you go-
you're shopping. You talk about where you're eating. Like what I don't understand.
All the time. All the time you tell people that you're going to McDonald's. All the time you tell people that you love the Bay. Now all of a sudden
Yeah,
you're not going to say what store you bought something at?
Talk about the employees and seniors you harass at specific grocery stores, or the employees that you bug at Costco, like asking, "Hey, where's the freezer section?" as opposed to literally just finding where it's cold in there.
And there's only 2 Costcos in this general area. So
I
like,
think it
he
was
pretty
Costco.
much-
He doesn't shop at many stores.
No.
I bet you bought this thing at Costco.
I bet you it was Costco too.
Costco kitchen.
Was it the one in Dartmouth or the one in
Don't like
Halifax?
Costco kitchen mixer.
No,
What was
we
the
got
name? Cuisinart. Cuisin.
No, I've got it. Here it is. Here's exactly the one that I bought.
Is it
In
from
I'm
our
going
the?
to send it to you.
Is
in
it
our
from the
group chat?
website?
It's not a Cuisinart. It's a KitchenAid.
Like,
Here it
did
is.
you buy
So
it
the
at
story
secondhand
story
store?
has changed
So here it is.
again.
Wow, new brand,
no, here
new
it is.
brand all of a sudden.
Here it is. This is the exact one that I bought.
So you bought it off their website.
No, I just found it on the website.
Okay, so where'd you go to buy it?
I'm not telling you the store.
Because you didn't
Costco.
fucking do it.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Look at my
then
mom.
tell,
Take a look at it.
Then tell us the store. Tell us the store you bought
I'm
it, so
not
I can
telling-
I can
I'm-
fact check your price.
I'm not telling you the store. I
Oh,
don't
Tim,
want
my
to.
wife's got this thing.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, my wife has it too.
I don't even want to tell you. I had to slug this thing back from on an airplane once because she got in the hot pink color she wanted. That was really annoying. But you bought this thing at Costco. I know
I'm
it.
not telling you where I bought it. I
No,
refuse
'cause I'm
to say.
right.
I refuse to say where I got
Can
it.
you say if I'm right or not?
No, but that would be the same thing as saying that. I'm just not going to say.
No, but you I'm pretty sure you only have like 3 or 4 stores you go to, period.
I go to malls.
I'm gonna say if it's at Costco, there's none at Costco that cost that much.
It's somewhere that Cuisinart's a high-end brand. So
It's
I
not-
don't-
it's
to be
not
honest, I don't
Cuisinart,
even know if
it's-
Costco sells that.
It's KitchenAid. Because he's changed his story again, by the way.
Here's the mixer that Tim bought from Costco.
Yeah, but they don't sell those at Costco.
Costco has things come in and out constantly. He got it from Costco. The fact that like he gets so nervous every single time we say Costco for whatever reason.
Yeah, dude, do you think that people will think less of you because you shop at Costco?
Was this the
I am
same
not-
time you ate the lady samples when there were people still in
Oh
line?
no! That was only a few months ago.
And that was at
was
Costco.
okay. Those were not the lady samples. They're my samples. I took them. They're mine. Why is it her samples?
Well, because she's in line behind you,
I
and you
didn't
shouldn't
see her.
take more
I
than
didn't- I
one
didn't-
and
I
clean
didn't
out.
see-
You shouldn't
didn't see-
empty the tray when there's people behind you.
I didn't know she was behind me.
So you have
I was
no,
gonna buy the product.
you have no. You seem like you'd be a really easy person to rob. Is this why you don't want people knowing where you shop?
I don't need people. I don't need people to know everywhere that I shop.
But
Am I not entitled to some privacy? Am I not entitled to some?
Well, it just makes it sound like you're lying. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, fine. I don't
Just
care.
admit you're lying. Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. I got a great deal on this kitchen mixer because I went as soon as they opened at 7 a.m. on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm. Don't believe you.
I still don't know why you're afraid to mention a chain store.
It doesn't matter where I bought it. What matters is I feel like I earned this Christmas gift deal that I bought for my mom.
Listen, you're a great son. You got up early. You got her what she
I
wanted.
took the day off work. I went early.
So you
That's a
gave,
good
you
sign.
gave up money to wait in line
No.
when you could have just bought it online.
I didn't give up money. It's just a vacation day. It's not. Wait, you're giving up money?
Oh, is that how it works? I mean,
Yes, I
work,
used a vacation day.
I work in the real world. We don't get those.
Anyway, I used a vacation day, went early, got the product, got a deal, earned the deal. And I don't like the idea that other people get to sit in their pajamas and sip their coffee 3 days before the event and get the same deal. I'm sorry, I don't think that's right.
Costco doesn't open until 9 a.m., so it may not be Costco. Because he said 7 a.m.
The nerve of Tim to be upset as someone else is able to make their mom happy for the holidays from the comfort of their own home.
He's like
the chutzpah.
He's like the crabs in a bucket. You know, someone's about to get something nice. Tim just needs to drag them back down.
I could see Christmas holiday dinner happening at the Andersons, and Tim is just so happy to show his mom for his mom to unwrap the gift, and then his cousin gets his mom a gift that he got online, and Tim's just there railing as people are giving him credit for that sale he got on the internet.
That is exactly how I feel.
That's a sad scene. Let's get to the second set of games here. The late games, if you will. Vegas is at Seattle. Seattle's a 4.5-point favorite against Vegas. 47.5 is the over-under. Big win. You must have been loving that, Geoff. The Raiders getting that win in overtime last week.
Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to me? I'm looking on the store's website right now, and it's right there. Why would you lie to me?
What website?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll take this offline.
What do you? What the fuck are you talking about?
No, we will not.
So they do sell
It's
it
at
at
a
Costco?
store.
So is it at Costco or the Bay where you're getting it from?
It was at a store, okay? I'm looking on that store's website, and the store.
Like what? Other than like a female lingerie store, what would be so weird?
I was being accused of lying when I wasn't lying.
You are
by
lying,
people
though.
who were lying to me.
But you are lying, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Sounds like you're lying.
I'm looking at it right now on the website.
I don't believe you. I've been looking at the website too. I don't see it.
You're being
what website is it?
You're being awfully
I'm not-
sneaky.
Why do you think you deserve so much credit for going to buy some Cuomo books early in the morning and stumbling upon a sale for your mom?
Whoa. How dare you, Jeffrey? How dare you? How dare you? I earned the sale because I went early, okay?
So are you
What
saying?
time's
Are you
By the
saying?
way,
that-
what time's early? Because these American door crashers are at 6, and Tim is pointing and Paul's pointing out the stores here don't really open that early.
On Black
anyway.
Friday, the malls open early.
And also, you say you earned this. Are you saying that the deal wouldn't exist if you didn't go?
What I'm saying is, I went up. I was early. I don't know what kind of stock they have in items. I don't know how
So it's
quickly
the Bay.
people are going to be in there to buy everything.
So it's the Bay?
It's the Bay because he said the mall opens early.
Ah, yeah, that's
Costco
right.
is
I'm
not
not going to
connected to the
confirm.
mall.
There's all kinds of
It
other
is
places.
the Bay
I'm not
that
gonna,
he
I'm
went
not
to.
Gonna say, I'm not going to say where I went.
In
So,
Halifax.
like Canadian Tire, like where you spend your Canadian Tire bucks. What are we talking
I
about?
wish
No,
we
he
still
went
got
to the
Canadian
Bay
Tire
at the
bucks.
Halifax Mall. That's we found out the story.
And it's a real trash bay too. It is the lowest budget bay you could ever go into. I'm shocked they have this.
I'm not going to even get into this. I'm not confirming any stores.
The artisan stand mixer. What color did you get it in?
I'm not. I got my mom a red mixer.
Okay. Yeah, because when you said when I went and looked it up on the Bay, I was under food processors because you told me it was a food processor.
Apparently, those were different things.
They are different things.
I thought like any machine.
Do you know
that
what a
does
food
the stuff on
processor
your-
does?
I mean, clearly I don't.
Okay, that's fair. Can we get to the second set of games now? Are
Yes.
you sure?
Thank you for conceding I was right. Let's move on. These sales shouldn't exist early.
I don't think anyone agreed with you on that. You would have to have, like, I don't know, really nothing going on in your life to think that way. I'm sorry about
Tim,
that.
also, like, I hate to close out the argument like this, but these sales go on all freaking year long.
It's true.
Like, all year. Literally all year, big box stores are having sales. All the time.
Because they want to get rid of they want to make sales. So
I like buying things.
You're a great consumer, Tim. If
Someone's gotta be-
if only you knew how to use the internet.
Tim, the world needs more people like you out there saving brick and mortar, because one day it's going to be gone, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think in my lifetime, but eventually.
Well, when does the vaccine allow me to do all my purchases just by tapping my finger on something? I was promised they put a chip in me. It's not happened yet.
I think if you go to r/the Darnold, you may get an answer to that question.
There we go. All right, second set of games. We got Vegas at Seattle. Geoff, to throw it back to you, were you pumped when you saw the Raiders win? Because that's going to at least affect their draft stock a little bit at this moment. You don't want them picking too highly here.
No, yeah, I wanted them to have a bad year, but I didn't want them to have a catastrophic year where, like, it's so bad that they bail off Derek Carr and they get to go to the top of the draft and get a quarterback. Meanwhile, Denver losing, improving Seattle's draft position. It was all the giggles as Devontae got a wave bye-bye, but nothing compared to the giggles that, like, Melvin Gordon fumbled on the goal line in that game, and they had to kick another field goal, yada, yada, yada. It was a real funny one. Seattle off a bye, Oakland off a win. I don't know. The spread feels real short, doesn't it?
It does.
Because short.
I still think
like,
the Seahawks
if this
are
game
good.
Was if this game was 2 weeks ago, a week ago, you almost wouldn't be shocked to have seen Seattle laying 6.5 points or something.
Yeah,
Am I crazy to say that?
I'm taking Seattle minus 4.5. I really like it. I think the Raiders are legit bad. I think that the Seahawks, maybe they're not as good as their record or maybe some of the wins that they have, but they're a good team. They're a top 12-ish team. They're one of the better teams in the NFC. Put it that way. I don't think they're as good as San Francisco, but San Francisco might be the best team in the NFC for all we know, especially when they're at full health. It seems like everyone's going to be healthy, who could be healthy for the Seahawks at this point. They went to Germany. They got beat. They could barely run on that turf over there. Now they're back in Seattle. It feels like Vegas is getting a lot of credit for winning in overtime against Denver. If Melvin Gordon hadn't fumbled this year, what would the Broncos' record be, do you think? They'd have at least 3 more wins, wouldn't they? Because they would have beat Seattle opening week.
Yeah, they would have beat the Raiders last week. Hard to say.
I like Seattle.
I think future New York Jets quarterback Derek Carr plays very well in this game.
You don't want him to play too well. You want him to get rid of
I don't think it matters at this point. I think they're going to move on. I like the Raiders here. I'm putting the Raiders on the teaser.
Ooh.
I really like the Raiders here. That gets us through a couple of key numbers, and I think the Raiders could win the game outright. Just saying.
I must not be giving the Raiders nearly enough credit, because not to call this a Miami versus Houston out of a bye soft landing, like they don't get to jump onto a beanbag chair like Miami gets to this week, but yeah, this feels like way softer of a landing for Seattle than having to lay 4 points. So I'm going to take the Seahawks at home.
I think the Seahawks are going to be popular, but I think Oakland's going to win.
Well, they don't play in Oakland, so I bet you they're not. Oakland's not going to win this game.
Whatever.
It's been years, by the way.
Whatever.
Both of you can figure that one out.
I don't mind people sticking with what they know the team has. That doesn't bother me. Maybe because I make the mistakes a lot, but it doesn't.
I would say that's exactly why.
It's like why Tim doesn't like Black Friday, because he can't online shop himself.
No, I don't like Black Friday sales that are early. Don't make
If
them
you
early.
knew how to online shop yourself and got this amazing 80% off deal on something you wanted, you'd be in your group chat talking about how great of an online shopper I am. I am the best online shopper. Online shopping is the best. It's amazing.
Many people say that I am Cust and I get the best deals. I went down to the Bay. No one's ever gotten a better deal than me, Tim Andercust.
I'm also, again, not conceding for a second that that's where I made my purchase. There's all kinds of places you can make purchases like that. I just think that these early sales are stupid, lazy, shiftless.
This is crap. This has got the IPA trajectory written all over it.
Just get a credit card that you only use to purchase things on the internet. And that way, no one can steal your credit card. Put the limit at like $400 on it. You wouldn't be able to buy your fantastic kitchen mixer, but you'd be able to buy other things.
Someone like Tim, my credit card, I don't know my information. Someone bought like a $4,000 drone on my credit card. And you know what they did?
It was me.
They just replaced it. Like they knew it wasn't me and I didn't get charged for anything.
I don't know. I just hear horror stories of things like this. Just I don't feel comfortable.
Give us some horror stories.
You hear horror stories in the same way you hear horror stories about the people that send money to a Nigerian prince.
Yeah,
I hear on a weekly basis the various ways in which technology has made Cam's life worse, and I find myself agreeing week after week after week.
Do not.
So you think that you and Cam are very similar people?
In some ways, in this way for sure.
That you're scared of the internet?
Our antipathy towards modern technology and its downs and our acute awareness of its downsides.
I mean, Cam has no problem getting money on the internet to bet.
Sure.
And putting his info
I don't know.
out there
Hearing Cam like throw stones at the McDonald's app a couple of weeks ago was pretty disheartening. It's a great app.
I mean, it is an easy app to use. I mean, if I can kind of navigate it, it's got to be relatively easy.
You gotta remember, Cam's old. Cam's an old man.
But all apps are just about all apps are dumb.
Cam's got what, 16 years on you?
Probably. Apps are bad. I don't like apps. We would be in a better world if there were no apps. They have some positives, but they have more negatives.
Like
same with the internet. There are a lot of positives, but there are more negatives.
Here's the thing. I mean, it's all positive for Pat because I wouldn't have a career. I'd be on like welfare right now if it wasn't for the internet. But just think about having an Amazon delivery of paper towel and toilet paper once a month to your door, Tim. You never have to worry about that stuff coming out. It just shows up right to you.
Well, you
don't even have to. You only have to order it once. You just put it on automatic renewal.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have to go through my package of toilet tissue or paper towel thoroughly at the store before I choose which one I'm taking. I'm not just taking any old package off the rack.
What?
Why?
I want to make sure it hasn't been overhandled. I want to make sure there's no holes in the bag. I want to make sure there's no holes in the bag. I want to make sure it's not overhandled. I don't want one that other people have been touching. I want one that's further back in the like. I'm not taking the first one off the shelf. I'm taking at least two back.
What do you think? You think if there's like a hole in it, you're gonna get COVID up the hole or something like that?
No, just it's the same. I don't purchase anything at a store that's in the front row or in the front of the shelf. I always take the thing behind it. And if there's only one left on the shelf, I won't buy it. I'll go without before I buy the last thing on the shelf.
Unless it's some other woman's samples, then you'd take them all.
Or if it's somebody's mincemeat pie, in which case you'll take it
was
and
my
then leave
pie.
it.
But it was the last one.
But then you didn't even take it.
So wait, which of this is true and which of this is not true?
You just wanted to bully the
Pie
old
is
man.
Different.
You just want to bully the elderly.
No, I don't.
It seems like you do. You're stealing this old woman's food. You're stealing the old man's pie. You don't
my
even want
pie.
it.
It was my food.
You didn't even want it.
Well, not after the circumstances. No, I lost my appetite.
Next game. Chargers.
Let them come the next day and get mincemeat pie. What a hardship. Let them come the next day.
What?
Well, I'm sure they'll make more tomorrow. I'll get some pie tomorrow.
Just don't fight with any old ladies.
I don't get into fights.
No, not at all. Not from what we've heard from you. Because you cower away. You hide from the 80-year-old man. Paul?
So if there's one roll of toilet paper on the shelves...
And you're prairie dogging.
No. And So you refuse to take it. Will you then accost a worker there to go look in the back, even though there's one on the floor that you could take, but you won't take
a
it?
Total hypothetical because I haven't been in that circumstance.
But would you?
But yes, I would. Yes, I would.
You'd be like, I won't take the one that's on the floor. When the guy comes back and says, wait a second, you got me to go all the way to the back when there was one right here for you.
Actually, what I would say is I need two packs. Take the 2 packs, and then when they're out of eyesight, ditch the pack that was on.
You have such little respect for
like
people's time.
you would ditch one of the pack in like the freezer aisle. Or something.
Exactly. Well, the pack that I knew that I didn't want. Yeah.
So not only did you waste the guy's time of going to get it, they went and got it for you. You're now wasting someone else's time by putting it somewhere else in the store that they now have to go retrieve and go put back on the shelf.
Grocery store menace.
I suppose I should put it back in the spot I got it. I would just have to do like a loop of the store.
No, but by the time the guy brought you from the back, he probably restocked like that box and just put it on the shelf.
I don't know if they're going to work that quickly. Maybe they do. I don't know.
But we know that you wouldn't, but maybe that they do because they want to get the job done.
I don't know.
You'd have to take a break halfway
I've never
through
been in it.
Of carrying all that paper towel around. You need a tea break.
This is what I would do.
Don't want to have a heart attack in that situation.
I was right about that, by the way.
Is the last thing on the shelf, is that like relative to everything?
Just about. It would have to be a real dire straight circumstance.
Like you wouldn't take like the last case of Diet Coke?
I wouldn't be very I probably wouldn't.
Like what if it's a great sale? What if something is like it's a great sale, therefore like no wonder there's so few left?
I don't want the thing that's been pawed over that everybody else passed over.
Well, you just talked about fucking Black Friday sales, which that's exactly what it is when you go to the store.
Like, I don't want to be the person who takes the last cookie off the plate. I want to be the person.
As Pat pointed out, all Black Friday is pretty much the shit they just didn't sell and want to get rid of, and they'll give you a cheap price. Like, that's been prodded over for 8 months by every consumer who's walked in the store.
Okay.
I worked at Mark's Work Warehouse.
You're naming names, Paul. Don't do that. They'll know where you worked.
We used to have a room that we would go into for Black Friday and for Boxing Day sales where we would bring stuff out that literally wasn't on the shelves for any other period of the year. It was just stuff we literally couldn't sell, and they would go onto a special table, and it's just like, oh, those are like
that's my first place I go when I go to
those are 6-year-old stock that we can't get rid of.
You are
and then at the end of it, you'd be like, well, should we put this somewhere else? They're like, no, put it in that back room until next Black Friday. That's how it works.
To God, that's the first place I go, and I see 80% off, such a deal, and I usually take it and buy it.
And they thank you for that because they can't sell it to anyone else.
So I'm a good consumer, and I don't understand why I'm mocked on this show constantly for my consumption when I'm a very good consumer. I'm a loyal customer, and I'm a good customer. If you could be so lucky as to be a company that have me as a consumer.
I would agree, but we can't all make record profits just with you. We need to branch out and try to get new people in.
Tim, of course they appreciate you. Why do you think these companies send you all these personalized emails?
They're not personalized. Usually it's dear customer.
Dear Cust is what they're saying.
Nowadays I'm getting all these push notifications anyway.
Why don't you just turn off your push notifications?
I don't know how.
It's here, watch. Settings. Oh, automatic updates. Don't want those. Scroll down.
No, you don't.
Scroll down to app that you have. Click on app. Turn off push notifications. You're done. Oh, that was hard.
Okay, so that is easy.
So all the stuff that you think is hard, you have just legitimately worked it up in your head that you have no idea how this works. It must be super complicated, and don't realize that it probably takes 5 seconds.
The only thing I learned how to purchase and do renewals online, that's actually really convenient, are my Nespressos.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't. So I have done that.
Do you think
but
the
I've
convenience?
help on that.
Do you think the convenience of getting new Nespressos delivered directly to you might apply to, I don't know, everything you buy?
No, because sometimes I don't renew or I cancel the renewal and just go to the store.
What?
I feel bad sometimes.
Like the people at the Nespresso kiosk in the mall are missing you?
Yeah, sort of like that. Feel like
They're
I
not.
should be going in person.
They're not doing that. Just more work.
They're
for
always
them.
very friend. They're very friendly to me.
They're paid.
If
to be friendly
that's
to
where
you.
I'm shopping there, and I'm not going to say I shop there, but if I did shop there,
I know where there's one Nespresso place in town is. Is it located within 3 minutes of my house?
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
You've lost Geoff. He's ordering stuff on Amazon on his phone over here.
Jeff is yeah, exactly.
We're heavy shoppers here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get like an Amazon package to my house every day. I show
Every
up
day,
and my
from
wife just has shit.
toiletries to we go.
I'm also terrified of porch pirates.
I go through detergent in this house like it's water, and it's It's just nonstop boxes are showing up.
Like the amount of kid shit that we buy on there they need this clothes, they need this item, whatever it is, and they're all like $7.99 or something like that. It's just so much more convenient to order it, get it delivered to your house. Because Tim, you don't know the struggle of going to the store for this like one specific thing that you need for your kid and have no fucking clue where it is. And even if you ask someone, they also have no fucking clue where it is. They're like, I don't know, it's over in the kids' spot somewhere, I suppose. No one ever asked for this.
Fair.
So.
I mean, they're so good at returning shit. You order it in like 3 sizes and see which one fits, and you send the other 2 back for the kids.
Yeah, it's true. Like fake candles, a whole bunch of Christmas shit. Apparently, I'm looking at my Amazon orders right now. My wife has just ordered a bunch of Christmas shit. Keyhole companion. I don't know what the fuck that means. Oh, my underwear showed up. That's good news. And my socks. Oh, fantastic. Sometimes I don't like to wash my underwear or socks, Tim, so I just order new ones. Every 6 months.
Well, pardon me, that does sound a little wasteful.
No.
Each his own.
I wear underwear every day. I wear socks every day. I don't have a lot of them. I like the ones that I have. I run through them, then I buy new ones. It's just like Here's a travel tip for you. If you're going on vacation for a while and you know that your hotel is by a store, or you can even order it to the hotel, instead of packing socks and underwear, just order new ones to the hotel, pick them up there, more space in your suitcase. That's what I did in France. Yeah. I showed up and I had a whole bunch of clothes at the hotel for myself. It's fantastic stuff. That way you don't have to check it back. You can just have carry-ons the entire way. Your team, Geoff, I keep teasing it. We're there. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray probably back for this game. 4.5 is the total. The Cards are underdogs in this game. And I am seeing this right now. Jeff's favorite guy, Emmanuel Acho, has said that Justin Herbert, Tim, is a social media quarterback. If Tua or Hurts had thrown a game, losing interception with 2 timeouts, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
I yield my floor to the senator
I'm not
from
even
Toronto.
like taking the debate. Was he talking about like the 24-second left like ball that got deflected on the 3rd deflection got picked off?
Yeah.
I'm not even taking Acho's bait. You guys see the throws Herbert can make. I'm not taking Acho's bait one bit. He wants to die on this hill. He can die on it. Pat, also more importantly, because I'm not taking that argument at all. I don't know that Kyler Murray's going to play. I saw some reports during the afternoon saying that they have a bye next week and they might just sit him out. In quotes, they want him full throttle.
The Cardinals have Cliff Kingsbury has just fired the offensive line and run game coach.
Okay, and apparently that happened before the game yesterday at an incident in Mexico.
Yes, after, quote, an incident. I bet you that was fun.
Yeah, an incident in Mexico is always intriguing. It does feel like too many points. And I think that's a byproduct of people seeing the Chargers in many ways, despite the second half yardage totals, compete with San Francisco a couple weeks ago and followed it up with competing with Kansas City, and then seeing Arizona just get lambasted last night. I believe you guys, and myself included, when I watched you guys on Sunday night, you thought that spread was high to begin with. It's actually gotten higher after that Arizona performance last night. So I do believe it is too high. Arizona, much like when the Chargers played San Fran, they had so many injuries in that game, and it'll be interesting to see who they actually get back for this one. I personally hope their offensive line doesn't return. But all that being said, Arizona's not going to have McCoy, Murray. They're not going to have the difficulty moving the football on Sunday night, against the Chargers, like they did versus the 49ers. That's laughable.
What if Wayne Gretzky, personal protector, Marty McSorley is playing quarterback for them?
I missed the joke.
Well, he's not the guy they had to bring in. Something McSorley after Colt McCoy
Oh,
got
is that
sent to the
I
bench
didn't
or
even
hurt?
Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley. That's the guy.
Yeah.
The Trace of Spades.
I wasn't. If you watched our show yesterday, you noticed I was under the weather. If you thought I stayed up past a 28-10 Cardinal 49er game, you'd be mistaken. Yeah, I don't know. Chargers are getting a little healthier. I'm going to pick the Chargers. This is our season. They're 5-5. I don't think you have a chance in hell unless you're 10-7. So I'll give them my all because I'm on the team. I'll give it my all until they get their 8th loss. And when they do, I just cheer for them to lose because 4 spots in the draft is more important to me than anything once our season is over. And that could be on Monday. My season could be over on Sunday night and I'm prepared for it. Nothing. I'm just, yeah. I don't know that I even said anything other than we suck.
I'm going to take the Chargers as well, Tim.
I will also take the Chargers. And it's not a play on the Chargers, sorry. It's just a complete play against the Cardinals. They just look dead. They had no life last night. I thought McCoy coming in would provide them with a little boost of energy, and that neutral site game, that game got up to 10 points in division. San Francisco hasn't been blowing people up by any means. I thought this is a good spot for them, and they just completely laid an egg, and so that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So I'll take the Chargers.
Is Ryan D. Leaf the real Ryan Leaf, Geoff?
Do you want to know something?
Or is that like a different guy? Because this guy says he's a dad. He's a PointsBet USA ambassador, ESPN college football. That's not like the Ryan Leaf, right?
Oh, that is the Ryan Leaf because I am blocked by Ryan D. Leaf, Pat.
Okay, well,
I'm not blocked. I'm blocked by Chuck Swirsky, Ryan D. Leaf.
Onions, Geoff, onions. Why are you blocked by Chuck Swirsky?
Because he's the biggest fucking phony on the planet.
Oh, big fat phony?
You know what? And you know who's a close second at the moment?
Tim
at the
Andergust?
moment, it's my head coach. 4th and Staley, sit on your thumb and fucking rotate, you moron.
So, Tim, Ryan Leaf just tweeted to somebody, I've had a better life than Jets. That's not how you use then. Oh, Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf's making fun of Zach Wilson?
I've had a better life than Jets fans the last decade, and I spent 3 of those years in prison. Respectfully, of course.
Ouch.
When Ryan Leaf was throwing shade, that's not cool. He blocked me because I was asking him questions about an old story that he threw he threw a chair at Dr. Chow.
Well, the Dr. Chow probably came at him with a giant needle of some sort.
Yes. And then when I was at the Ladanian Hall of Fame enshrinement, I ran into Dr. Chow and asked him about the story, and he was kind of non-committal.
People must love running into you.
What do you mean?
Like, that's exactly what I would want to do. I'm there at a Hall of Fame thing, and you're asking me about some sort of crazy story.
You want to bring on my friend who was there with me? I brought Dr. Chow. I bought him a beer. He enjoyed my time. He actually gave me the location of the private party for Ladanian.
Oh, okay. So he loved you prodding him about this story.
No. I get this perception I create. You guys see like insane football fan me,
And remember to vote for Geoff when the balloting begins. He just called himself insane.
No, I'm insane football fan.
Yeah, listen,
you are too. You cried.
No one is saying that.
No,
Geoff,
I didn't.
No one is saying that Geoff isn't insane. It's just you're the most insane, Tim.
No one's saying that.
The votes would say that.
I
just
don't think.
And you also think that pouring out water is littering.
I just don't think that, like, when people give most of my insane votes, like 94% of them come from how I react to and about the Chargers. But I would say you are equally insane about the Jets. So now we have this equality in insanity around our favorite teams, but you take real life non-sport insanity like way higher than me. But again, this is something for the people, for the voters. We shall see. I mean, listen, I've got to read my child a bedtime story. She's going to want something about princesses. I am certain I could just pop an IPA, drink it, and tell her that story, but I'm going to read her the story she wants.
Sip by sip. No, each sip has a story, Geoff.
That's true, though.
The entire exchange went like this. Someone just randomly tweeted, "Can't believe we really picked Mormon Ryan Leaf," in regards to Zach Wilson. And then he responded, "Yes, you can. You're the Jets. It's what you do." Ryan, respectfully, shut the fuck up. You're worse than a Mormon that can't throw a ball straight. I've had a better life than Jets fans the last decade, and I spent 3 of those years in prison. Respectfully, of course. That's the entire exchange. That's great news. Ryan Leaf. Unblock Geoff, Ryan.
Is Tim actually trying to pretend that he didn't cry on Sunday night?
He is pretending like he didn't cry.
I got a text from my mom who watches, and she said, "Terrific clip. I saw it live. Hilarious. You asked him if he was crying, and he said no. He was. It was supposed to be his years in quotations. Kind of feel sorry. Kind of feel sorry for him, but we've all been there. That's football. Smiley face. So my mom feels sorry for you, but you were crying. Like, stop denying that you were crying.
Yeah,
I wasn't crying.
Are you a crying denier? You need it.
Yes, in this instance, I am.
You need the
I
decision
might
to be
have cried
overturned.
also. If my team has been where Tim's team has been, and they're at a 3-all game with a chance to be in first place in that division that everyone wants to give all that credit to so many other situations, and off a bye week, my second overall pick did that, and then failed to show any accountability after the game. I admit, you might have caught me crying on Sunday night.
Okay, but I didn't cry. I was upset. I didn't cry. There were no tears.
There's video.
I know there's video. I stand by it. I was very upset, but I didn't cry. Please.
There were tears.
So you were talking about why you're picking the Chargers this week, and don't say anything nice.
It's exclusively a play against the Cardinals.
Oh, no.
That's why.
I just got an email that the kid's daycare is closed tomorrow. Oh,
that sucks.
Fuck.
That's the worst.
My wife's out of town, too.
That is the worst.
Bad news.
Can put them to work here. There's some wiring that needs to be...
They do have little hands. I don't know how precise they are of getting those wires in and out, though, Paul.
Fair.
They might really ruin things. Fuck. That's just fucking great.
Is Hollywood Brown going to play?
Who cares?
I think he's probably pretty close. It sounded like he was close to playing last week.
But they lost more. They got so many injuries.
They lost more. Then Dortch was having a great game. Then Dortch got hurt at the end.
They're a mess.
Yeah, it's a tough scene for them out there. Oh, my God. The Packers worked out Geronimo Allison.
That makes sense. Bring him back.
That's a real throw. He's only 28?
Melvin Gordon cleared waivers.
No one used a waiver claim on Melvin Gordon.
Nobody claimed Melvin Gordon.
I'm guessing the Rams will if they cut Darrell Henderson.
What contract did he turn down, Geoff?
He turned down a big one, and it's the greatest thing that happened to the Chargers. There's not many good things have.
New Orleans and San Francisco. Niners on a short week, favored by 9, coming back from Mexico. I don't know. 9 feels. I mean, I don't know how bad the Cardinals are. I mean, per the last month DVOA, they're the worst team in football, so they're bad. And New Orleans is better than that. They are the 18th best team in football over that stretch, and top 10 defense, mainly against the pass. But the Niners' offense looks scary, Geoff, when they were at full strength. With everyone out there, you didn't know where the ball was going, and the moment it got into one of those guys' hands, they were gone.
For a team with like the 15th, 18th best quarterback in football, 20th best quarterback in football, it's crazy how good they are. They might have the best team when healthy in the league.
Yeah, but this Jimmy G is no different than any other Jimmy G. Like, yeah, he's gonna make like the crippling mistake at the time that you don't want. Very Derek Carr-esque, by the way. But when you look at when you look at things like EPA per play, like the expected points added per play for Jimmy Garoppolo, even over the past 3 years, he's constantly like a top 10 guy.
The game that I am salivating for is next week, and it has potential to be like the game of the year. And it's Miami at San Fran.
I feel like San Fran will kick the shit out of them.
Well, that
Yes,
I guess
that-
in
that-
many ways to like football people could feel like a litmus test for Miami.
Yeah.
Where's the game?
San
It's in-
Francisco.
Miami's actually got they play Houston this week, I believe, at home, as we've discussed, and then they play back-to-back at San Fran at the Chargers. I think they're going to be spending the week at West. As
San
I've heard-
Francisco
as,
at any price next week.
as I've been informed by the local Chabad that they think the Dolphins are spending the week at West after Houston or after the 49er game. It does feel like a lot of points in New Orleans, though. Shit.
It's in San Francisco.
Give me San Francisco.
Okay. Easy stuff. 9 feels like a lot of points, though.
It does. Give me the 49ers reluctantly, but also tease those Niners down to 2.5.
Who's the coin going to take? I blindly took Houston earlier. So me and the coin are going to go with New Orleans in this one, +9. I bet you this gets bigger as the week goes along.
It's already 9.5.
It's all as we were speaking, so it opened at 9. It was 9 an hour ago. Now it's 9.5. This is going through 10, right?
Probably. And then what's to stop it?
Yeah. Like this game, Rams at Kansas City. If everyone loses all their money, Geoff, on the early slate, this game's already 14.5. What can this get up to?
What a crazy number.
Because we don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Rams. It's either Walford or someone named Bryce Perkins.
We saw Perkins. He can play.
You saw like 3 plays from him, and I don't think he scored
was
any
sold.
points.
I don't know. I mean, historically, it feels like Kansas City is at a hard time
Covering these numbers.
covering
Yes.
these numbers, but this could be a quarterback level of incompetence that
Could it be any worse than Malik Willis was 2 weeks ago against the
but
Chiefs? when it was a
Tennessee
12-point?
Tennessee can run, and Tennessee can play
Yeah.
defense. Like the Rams' defense isn't even good anymore, and they can't run.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't love it. I hate spreads this size.
I'll take the Rams because I just feel like this is a Chiefs phone it in, and we've seen it a million times type of game where they just don't have to do anything to win by 10, and that's what they'd end up doing.
I'm with
The
you.
Chiefs have a road game next week against the Bengals, which to them will be important.
Do they just not play the Raiders anymore? Like I haven't seen a Chiefs Raiders game this season, and we're getting into
What are you
December.
talking? They played in prime time, and the Raiders almost beat them.
Oh, that's right. That did
game.
happen. Forgot about that.
It was like 28-27 or something.
Maybe it was Denver they haven't played. Someone they haven't played yet.
I don't think they play. It's like the Bills and Patriots that they don't play till the final 3 weeks of the
No,
season.
you
or
are
something.
correct. They have 2 Bronco games remaining.
That's a tough
Okay.
matchup for them. Not that I think the Broncos are going to win, but the Broncos defense does specific things well that can limit what Kansas City does. I'm going to take the Rams too. I've taken all of the double-digit underdogs this week, I think. I'm just going to roll out that way at this part of the season, and hopefully that ends up working out for me. Green Bay and Philadelphia are playing on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles are favored by 7. Is that too many? Is this a rebound spot for the Packers to keep a game close, or is their season now officially over, Tim?
That's a very good question. It's too many points. Take Green Bay.
Too many points.
It's too many points, and Philadelphia the last 2 weeks has looked less than potent. So I guess I have to see them play excellently again before I can lay 7 points. And the Packers are coming off extra rest, so 7 points is too much.
We've seen that teams have tried to neutralize the Philadelphia offense by running the ball. Hurts has been a bit more turnover prone the past 2 weeks as well, but Green Bay has had some real struggles running the ball on the road so far this season. I feel like there's a big get right spot for Philadelphia, Geoff.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Despite them, having won 2 of the last 3, or maybe, clearly more than that, they do feel like they are on a run of uninspiring football, at least like final score wise. That Houston game they played a few weeks ago was really close. That dud they dropped on prime time versus the Washingtons. last week. I agree. Despite their record not indicating that there's really been any funk, this does strike me as a get right spot. I'll lay the touchdown.
So everyone is taking Philadelphia -7 except for Tim. Monday Night Football. I actually kind of like this Monday night game. This is going to be a great story with Jeff Saturday being on the ESPN game. You think they're going to have a lot of love for him, Tim?
Ugh, it will be terrible.
I like that you said he looked like a homeless person when we were watching.
He did look like a homeless person.
Why? When?
On the way he's looked on the sidelines, Jeff Saturday. He just looked like
he was in his like military Colts hoodie. He seemed really engaged. I didn't see that.
He seemed really engaged, did he? Yeah. Okay. The Steelers are the last part of the tryptophan teaser. We're going to tease them up. Because I refuse to lay points with Matt Ryan, and I think Pickett is decent, and Pickens is a good player. And
Pickens, I don't know about Pickens, man. Like Pickens is okay.
I like them both. I think this is a good spot where we've seen the Steelers play good football against bad teams, and we've seen them play good football against good teams. Steelers don't have a lot of bad games, right? They scored 30 points against the Bengals. They played a tough game against the Dolphins. They beat the Saints. They beat the Bengals earlier this year. I don't know. Just if you believe the Colts are bad, as we do, then I just can't lay 2.5 points with them. I just can't. I've got to take the Steelers here.
I agree with Tim. This could be a super loss.
I think we're all. Here's the problem. We're all going to agree with the Tim. The world is going to agree with Tim. Clearly, Pittsburgh is the right pick in this game, which means fucking Indy's going to win by 3.
The line already dropped off the 3.
I know.
Because everyone agrees with Tim.
And that's why they're going to win by 3.
Pittsburgh. JJ Watt, TJ. I don't know. The Colts, I think they've been flying high on their own supply. I like Pittsburgh here. Mike Tomlin, not really. I believe he was asked his thoughts on the Saturday hiring, and he kind of like just gave a no comment for whatever that's worth.
I don't know what you're trying to say. They asked him.
Nothing. You guys were talking about all the discourse and debate that is going to go on and continues to go on around Saturday, and it being an ESPN game, and Tomlin, who is, I don't know, a voice. Even when they're playing the Bucks a few weeks ago, he's asked about what it's like going up against another black coach, and he kind of like scoffed at the report. He's like,
"Oh, so you're saying that they were asking Mike Tomlin because the Colts like basically skipped the Rooney Rule?"
Whether it's the Rooney Rule or the the chain of command and the system, I don't know, but that's all. It's irrelevant to picking the point spread, but those sorts of things I take notice of, and unrelated to a bet, but I think that's going to gain some traction this week. That storyline.
The coin is selecting the Colts. I'm taking Pittsburgh because, like you said, Pittsburgh's the correct pick here, but I don't think this is going to win. And he just has bad vibes. I picked them last week. They won. They covered the spread. It was great. It's fun being on the Colts side of these things. Like when they beat and covered against the Chiefs. It just feels like one of those games, Tim. We're going to be watching and be like, oh no, how is this happening? And then it just happens.
It'll be frustrating. I hope to watch very little of this game, actually. These two teams are terrible.
Right, it's going to be the last part of your tryptophan teaser.
I'm sure there's always some network TV on a Monday that can keep you warm and cozy, Tim.
This is exactly it. We're getting into the home stretch for like fall season finales and stuff. So,
yeah, how's the cleaning lady coming along?
I haven't watched it.
What about the rookie Feds?
Like it's been I'll put it this way. It's been a very lean year for network TV. I'm hoping that the new winter season comes out with one or two like star shows.
Any big turns on The Good Doctor?
I don't watch The Good Doctor.
Okay.
What about NY, that show with Jimmy Smits?
The new Law and Order, the reboot of Law and Order, is actually really, really good.
Like the organized crime one?
No. So there's 3 now. They've rebooted original Law and Order, They have SVU, and then they have the organized crime one, but it's got a different name. Anyway, they're all great in their own way, but this new Law and Order is it's fun. It goes back to its roots and what the show. It's great. I cannot recommend it more. The rebooted Law and Order is the star. I don't think I've missed a single episode. Maybe I have missed one, or very many episodes of this new season. And on Friday nights, you can get back to back to back 3 Law and Orders. It makes me feel like I'm 14 again. I love it. I love it. I love it.
If only Criminal
Law and
Minds
Order
were
is
Hold
such a
on.
great
When
show.
you were 14, you watched like marathon Law and Orders on Friday nights?
A&E. I used to watch Law and Order on A&E 5 times a week.
Until you tried to unscramble those showcase channels after dark.
I just really liked Law and Order. Always had. It's a quality program, and they're doing justice with this reboot.
Geoff, you didn't have to unscramble Showcase to watch like Kink, which Robin Black was on once, by the way. You just turn to channel 55 midnight on a Saturday, get some Bleu Nuit in your life. Nothing like some French channel hard or softcore porn to get you going when you're like 9 years old. Did you have Bleu Nuit, or was that just out here in Quebec?
Baby Blue movies.
There's Baby Blue 2 movies.
Oh, what channel was that on?
They were on City TV, I believe.
Oh, shitty TV?
Yeah. And then, Showcase had the goods as well.
Yeah, Showcase had like Kink and Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah, Red Shoe Diaries. You'd see some like top.
You'd see
But,
some top. You'd see some. Well, I mean, no wonder David Duchovny was in that show.
Yeah, Baby Blue 2, they got a little bit more, a little bit more into it.
A little bit more racy. Interesting stuff. All right, Super Locks for the week. This is changing name for a new sponsor next week. Did you know that, Geoff?
I do now.
Yeah, it is changing itself to, well, actually, I'll tease it for next week, but it might be the Omaha Steaks Premium Pick of the Week.
Ooh, I like it.
Then I'm going to make Tim cook a steak.
I cook a really good steak. So
We'll find out. I'll film it.
go ahead. It will be bad TV because I'm going to make it really well.
Okay. Well, you're going to make it really well? That doesn't sound like a good steak.
No, I'm going to cook it well. It won't be well done.
You're going to cook it
I'm
well,
gonna
then.
I'm going to do a good job on it.
Oh, okay. Tim, you're winning. You're 8-3. Who you got?
So this is the first week I am torn between 2 picks. I'm torn between the Raiders and the Panthers.
The Panthers?
Yeah. Baltimore for that matter. Okay, I'll go with Carolina plus 2.5.
The Darnold coming through, hopefully, for Tim's Superlock. Geoff.
The Jets.
Jets.
What a terrible pick.
No, Tim just puts them on a platter for us sometimes.
Yeah,
The Jets.
I mean, I should probably tell you, we went with the same pick with Pittsburgh last week, and it did not come through. I'm going to take the Titans. Titans plus 1.5 at home. Maybe they can lose by 1, and then everyone gets what they want. But I think that their defense, you kind of mentioned it, like Tannehill, maybe he'll be seeing ghosts against Cincinnati, and maybe it just will go so horribly. With the way that they're currently constructed, I don't think Chase is going to play. And even if Chase plays, their defense has been good enough to shut teams down. They can just keep running, and then take that deep shot that seems to be working at this point. So, yeah, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Hopefully, we gave you over 3 hours of spread picks content this week, Geoff. Hopefully, for people making their commutes, coming to and back from Thanksgiving, and they're traveling, hopefully we filled up enough time. Plus, we're going to be live 10 a.m. Thursday morning only on Mayo Media Network's YouTube channel. That will not appear on the podcast feed. The regular Best Bet show with Cam, Rob, and myself will appear on the podcast feed, as like Tambo and I are going to be doing our regular Friday show. So we'll have plenty of content if you're looking for it. But are you excited for this?
You're either not plugged in, Geoff, or you're not talking, or
Sorry, I had a coughing fit.
Oh.
I had a coughing fit, and
Like-
I muted myself. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I am very excited for Thursday, as I've kind of alluded to many times. My first job out of college was working with Cam and Pizzola. I never had more fun in my entire life. The rest of my life has almost been an effort to recap that fun. Like, it's not a good thing in life when your first job is like the most fun you're ever going to have at work, because every other work experience will not be as enjoyable as that one, which was the first one. If that makes any sense.
Sorry you hate working with Tim and I so much.
No, 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 no. Okay, this is different. This is actually very much enjoyable. I can work with you guys in my underwear if I wanted to. That I do enjoy, and I look back at our time in an office space together fondly, Pat. But trust me, I mean, you've worked with Cam. You've been in a yeah. It was wild. It was straight wild. Like every day working with Cam, you are like game tracking some Weber State NCAA game on a Tuesday because you know that Cam's mood will be greatly impacted by the result. It's a life. It's a lifestyle. It was great. I missed it.
So I don't know if that applies across the board, that everyone's first job is usually their most fun job, but it probably is because you have the least amount of responsibility at your first job, I would guess, which thus makes it fun.
Yeah, you're right. You're always like and you're young and you're just like going for drinks after work or whatever. And yeah, you're right. You have very little responsibility, both in life and at the workplace. So you could be right about that.
And additionally, I do think that working in a sports media like pit with 20 other people just kind of shouting at each other with sports games on the entire time, getting ready to do your like 1 hour live show, it's a very fun job to have. There's a reason that they can pay people nothing to do it, and people will line up to do it.
Well said.
Anyway, so follow Geoff on Twitter at GFienberg17. Catch us 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network on Thursday. I'd like to thank Paul, the coin, and of course, me for putting this show together. It's always tough to do, and no thanks to the lion, Tim Undercust.
Tim and Gust.
That's not my name. I'm not a liar.
Are you just very confused then?
No, but I will say once again, I wish you the best of luck. You and Paul, the best of luck with your management of Thursday.
Well, you wish us the best of luck, and now the chords aren't even working.
It's going to be a Herculean effort. But I believe in you.
Oh, fuck. We're fucked. Geoff, it kind of got by me yesterday, but someone pointed it out to me that Tim said that claymation was easy on yesterday's show, which is like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, I wasn't. He was talking about Chicken Little. That the whole thing.
Chicken Run, not Chicken Little. Chicken Run.
It all went over my
Claymation.
head.
How hard can claymation be? Honestly,
Why don't you explain to us how it's done?
I told you already. Once you get the claymate, just move it.
You just move it you see someone's fingers in the background like this in the movie.
Well, you obviously just Photoshop that out.
You think it's like a fucking marionette?
I don't know. Something like that.
Photoshop that out, Paul. Don't worry about it. Claymation. Oh, it's good stuff. Play in the Listeners League, smash the like, sub to the channel, and please rate and review the audio podcast. Have a safe holidays, and I will see you next time.
Mayo experience.
Photoshop it out.
I'm going to say, Geoff, I still remember you calling me when I was going to go on Gabe's show. You were like, Gabe's wants to talk about this college game and this football game, but he could talk about anything. So just be prepared. You may not have any time to speak. You're like, okay.
All right, guys.
So are you going to hang out in the room for another 15 minutes, Geoff? Or are you?
I'm here.
No, are you going to hang out for another 15 minutes in peace and quiet, or?
No, we got to do our futures thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Thank you for.
I've kind of spent the last 5 minutes trying to find a future. And
Oh my goodness! I've got to find a future.
Okay,
I'll take like a pee break or something.
No. I'll find one here.
All right, I'll throw to Geoff first for a future.
Oh, I don't have one either. For
Okay,
God's
let's
sake.
take 5 minutes then. We're taking 5. Then fuck
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna piss.
Then fuck it. We'll do it live. All right. Can't believe daycare is canceled tomorrow. Fuck.
Why is it canceled?
Good daycare my friends' kids go to. They had a special Saturday at daycare for the parents 2 weeks ago.
Why
This
is it
other
canceled?
daycare Where my friend Dub sends his kid. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay
Why
open.
is it canceled though?
What's that? Sewer something. The toilets don't flush.
The toilets don't flush.
They use potties anyway. Just fucking throw the shit outside.
That seems kind of crazy.
It's bullshit, man.
Like, yeah. I mean, you could probably just get an outhouse.
Yeah. How hard could that be?
You can order one in.
Off Amazon.
Maybe.
Now you get real MVP candidate Tua against social media MVP Justin Herbert. It'd be quite the game.
I don't even know what that means, social media MVP. I mean, people like him because he makes great throws. I don't know what the issue is. Whatever.
Experience!